What a tragic game for your New Jersey Devils. This guy is all smiles. Someone would just confirm the audio is working real quick, but wow, the first actual contest we saw between the New Jersey Devils and New York Rangers this season. As you know, the Rangers got drubbed in the first two, 5-1, 5-0, and tonight we actually saw a hockey game.
It was a contest.
Tonight it was a contest. The New Jersey Devils, unfortunately, coming up short by the score of 3-2 in the overtime on a painful sequence for the New Jersey Devils. Well, again, I'm getting all off track here. I'm not used to having guests. Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, with my guest, Chris, who now wants to be referred to as the Rocket.
It's
here on Runnin with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And I had to sit through a painful one here with the Rocket, the New Jersey Devils. So close in this one. Had a 2-1 lead. Wow. A painful loss, and I have to say, worst game in quite some time, in my opinion, for young Jack Hughes. A game that cannot be repeated. Very sloppy with the puck, and he played Santa Claus for the Rangers a little bit late. But we go to the game. First period, Adam Fox at 12:05 on the power play just rips a blast, breaks Kovacevic's stick in pieces, breaks it in half in the back of the net. Rangers up 1-0 after one. Let me just check my notes here if there was anything else I had. I had some things. Oh, yeah, obviously the Luke Hughes goal that wasn't a goal that – oh, thank you. Win or lose, we boost. See, I'm all thrown off at the guest. He has a Corona. I'm going with the Dirty Devil vodka, the official vodka, the great martinbrodeurvodka, smooth as hell. I'm just going to take a little bit on the rocks here to numb the pain because this one stings. The New Jersey Devils desperately needed a win here tonight, and they came up short. I mean, I'll take the loser point, obviously. Better than nothing, but cheers. I am tired of the silver linings and looking for moral victories in some of these games. But Luke's goal was not a goal. He hits the crossbar. Obviously, they review it. No goal. I think Timo hit a poster, a crossbar in that first period. And overall, it wasn't an inspiring period of hockey, in my opinion, for the New Jersey Devils. Despite outshooting the Rangers 11-8, it seemed like another one of those nights where the Devils were going to surrender, more chances than they should have, in my opinion. We get to the second period. And at 4:03, off a Brett Pesce shot, Jack with the beautiful deflection in front for his 16th of the season, ties it at 1 at 4:03. Jack Hughes from Pesce and Palat. And I was feeling good at that point. I was like, all right, we're back in this. But cheers to all my Devils fans. This is the painful one. Devils tie it up. And then about 4.5 minutes later at 8:28, coming off of a monstrous, perhaps the biggest check of Dougie Hamilton's life, just buries him. Completely buries the guy. Puck comes out. We get from Jack to Bratt, and Bratt just beats Shesterkin stick side. Devils up 2-1, and now I am delusionally believing that the Devils are now going to seize control of this game and win. I really did think it at that point. I don't know why. I guess because I'm optimistic, or try to be as optimistic as possible. But what were you thinking after the the little Bratt attack? You weren't feeling too good at that point.
Oh. Well, the last two games, I wasn't too confident, but I'm definitely happy with the result. We needed this one bad. The Rangers did.
Rangers respond again on the power play late in the period. I hate to see the late period goals. 17-13 on the power play. Rebound comes out for Panarin. He buries it. Tied up at 2 after 2. And after 2, I was like, oh, here we go. Another one of these third period super close ones. For the New Jersey Devils, going to be a dogfight. I was hoping they were, going to come out better in that third. And to start the third, your Rangers were dominating. It was 8-0 at one point.
Markstrom had a hell of a game, didn't he?
Well, I'll get to Markey. I mean, Markey's Markey, but Rangers just completely owning the Devils to start the third period. At one point, it was 8-0. Devils on their heels. They finally get some chances to kind of stop the bleeding, if you will. Obviously, let me look at my notes here. Dawson Mercer. Oh my God, the shorthanded breakaway. Dawson Mercer. He got off a bad shot at the end there. Not inspiring at all, but great play to get sprung like that. But wow, you need to have a better chance on a breakaway in a game like that. That could have been a dagger. The Garden would have went completely silent. The Rangers run Markey after one of those saves. They kind of bump him, and Markey gets all fired up and gets up with the blocker, and he's kind of in the action. Luke Hughes noticeably just kind of watched as the rest of his teammates went to war, and he did nothing. It is what it is there. Bratter late in the period had a big one-handed drive. He drove to the net one hand, got the puck on net, and there's a big rebound, but no one there. In the final, I think 2.5, 3 minutes or so of the game, Kovacevic had a grade A chance from the slot, missed the net. Just, things not going the Devils' way. Third period ends tied 2-2, and obviously the overtime session going to be a heart attack inducing scenario, and Nico Hischier loses the all-important face-off. Rangers with the first possession, but they don't do much with it. They give it up fairly quickly into the possession. I'm glad it wasn't one of those situations where you see the team win the face-off and then they have the puck for like 3 minutes. It wasn't one of those. Devils get it back quickly, and then Jack Hughes, one of his many turnovers on the night, and I have to say, one of the worst games for Jack Hughes in quite some time. Just an absolute turnover machine. A goal, aside from the goal, just turning the puck over, making careless decisions, trying to be his little dipsy doodle move. The Rangers, I was saying in the chat, the Rangers definitely watched tons of tape on him. And every time he tried a zone entry or did, he does the same kind of few moves. And the Rangers, props to them. They definitely were well prepared for it, and they shut it down virtually, every time he did it. Super unfortunate that he just didn't, have the foresight. I don't know what you want to call it, but ability to adapt. Clearly this isn't working. You got to try something else. They're shutting it down. Every time you do one of these little hesitation moves, the little dipsy do, they were there to stop it. And that's good preparation. Good teams do that. I'm sure they were watching lots of film on him from, other Devils games and the Devils versus Rangers matchups so far this season, but they were prepared for Jack. They shut that down, but in OT, he gave it away early in the overtime. Rangers had an insane Markey with an insane glove save. What an absolute save by Jacob Markstrom. Robbing
Panarin. It was Panarin that split the defense?
No, that wasn't the glove save. That was a different one, I think. That was a different one. They had two. That was not the same one. That wasn't the same one.
He made a glove save on Panarin, didn't he?
I don't know, but he had one that was. We got to go back and look at it. We didn't watch any of the things. We were bullshitting here, but and then the Panarin splitting the Hughes brothers and getting another great chance. Wow. How does that happen?
Trocheck was the glove save.
Yeah, Markey flashes the glove, keeps the boys in it. They let him down, and just a horrible game for Jack. A horrible overtime session, multiple giveaways. Including standing there next to his brother while Panarin, splits the middle of them, gets a quality chance. I haven't seen what Jack had to say, but anything outside of saying, I straight up lost us this game, I need to be better, is unacceptable because it was terrible. Terrible performance by Jack Hughes. And it kills me to say that, but it was. And then eventually the Devils couldn't hang on. Carrick in the 2-on-1, and he buries it past Markstrom. Game over. Devils lose. Get the loser point. And it stings because we were right there. What are your thoughts on this game?
I'm just happy it was a competition rather than a 5-1, 5-0 loss.
I'd imagine you would. You were not on the good side of these games.
I wasn't, and for the last time they're gonna play this season, it was a banger for sure.
They have another one.
Do they?
Yeah, it's on.
You sure about that?
Yeah, that was only the third one.
They play 4 times then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So maybe we can
Rangers throwing the monkey wrench in the Devils' plans to sweep the season series. There's a couple of people here that thought we were going to sweep the season series. I said I don't know about that.
Next one's got to be at home then, you guys, right?
Let's see. April 5th at home. Okay. Saturday, April 5th.
Not until
the last Devils-Rangers matchup of the season, but wow.
At the Rock?
At the Rock. Terrible game. Jacob Markstrom deserved much better. Obviously, another great start by him. And had we won, I would have said he stole this game too, especially after the overtime session. Flashing the glove, the breakaway. He had a bunch of other pretty high-quality saves throughout the game. Game stats. Let's just reload because these things change a little bit after the game. Devils 23 shots on goal. Would like to see a little bit more there. Rangers 32 shots. Again, Devils defense. Where's the defense we saw before the holiday break? Devils getting abused in the faceoff circle. Absolute abuse. 36.2% to 63.8% for the Rangers. That is god-awful. And again, the story of the night, Devils special teams were garbage. Absolute garbage. 0 for 4 on the power play for the Devils, and the New York Rangers 2 for 3 on the power play. Before the overtime session, they could not get a 5-on-5 goal, but they don't need to. They cashed in on 2 of the 3 power plays. Devils 27 hits, Rangers 33 hits. Again, we expected to see the physicality. Devils 15 block shots, Rangers 20 block shots. Devils 25 giveaways. Deplorable. 25 giveaways, absolutely deplorable, and maybe half of those are from Jack Hughes. I don't have to check, but a good chunk from Jack. Rangers 10 giveaways. Think about that. We gave the puck away 2.5 times. The Rangers. For every 1 giveaway the Rangers had, the Devils had 2.5 giveaways. Completely unacceptable. Got to get cleaned up. Devils 5 takeaways. Rangers with 2 takeaways. And that is the story of the game. Outshot, out-hit, completely thrashed in the face-off circle. They blocked more shots, and we gave it away more. I mean, statistically, if you look at the game, the story of the game from the game stats, it tells the tale of a beatdown. And watching it, I thought the Rangers got the better. You know, I would have said the Rangers played a better game overall. The game stats make it look worse than it was, in my opinion. But Jacob Markstrom, guys, I mean, look at the game stats. Those are just overwhelmingly in the Rangers' favor, and Markey kept them in it. But another solid start for Markstrom, squandered by the New Jersey Devils, and a huge chance for that second point. The 1 point's better than none, but now the Devils have lost 5 of their last 6. I mean, something's got to give. They look like a different team post-holiday break, and it's troubling. What are you laughing at?
I was looking at one of the comments. Why is there a Rangers dirtbag on here?
I guess we'll just start off. We'll start off with Woodson. I guess that's fitting. Hughes is talented, but I'll take every other team's number 1 player in exchange for him. That's a super hot take, Woodson. Every other team's, come on, man.
Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that always chimes in. Right?
Well, he's a regular. He's a little bit of a doomer, I would say. Old school hockey fan, very knowledgeable, but has a lot of bad takes in my opinion, and hates on the Hughes brothers. But Hughes is talented. I'll take him. I'll take every other team's number 1 player in exchange for him. I would say no. Now, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't, a good players that I would. Yes, but every team's number 1. Come on, that's just crazy. Yo Home says Jack was playing Instagram hockey. Oh boy, keep it up, the Devils. Fitzgerald, are you going to wait for the trade deadline? Or are you going to do something now? I think he should do something now. But again, guys, I don't expect it to be a big splash. I expect it to be a bottom 6 kind of move. And how much do you think a bottom 6 guy is moving the needle? I personally would say not a ton. Hopefully it leads to a overall better team, more balanced scoring. We see some goals coming out of that 3rd and 4th line. I thought the 3rd and 4th line looked pretty good tonight for the Devils. A lot of energy. Again, committed to the forecheck. Dowling has proven to be a serviceable player for the Devils for sure, but something's got to give. It's been pretty ugly as of late. Cape Dweller, Jack Giveth and Jack Giveth away. Yeah. Jason, no, Jack looked like he was trying to play hero hockey again. Nicholas, he really was. He truly was playing Instagram hockey. Devils rule. Markey glove save on Panarin. Max says Jack took responsibility for the game in the post game. I can't wait to see that. I didn't see it on TV before we jumped on here. Wasted Youth comics and action figures should have won the game for Markey. He played amazing. Igor looked weak. This was the Rags fan Stanley Cup. Listen, I said on the pregame show I expect the Rangers to make the playoffs. They were only 4 points out before tonight, and again, Shesterkin, not the greatest game, but not a bad game whatsoever. Once he kind of gets back into form for the second half, I mean, what are your thoughts now, Shesterkin coming back off the injury?
Well, you can't ever downplay his talent. And I think if he plays well, the Rangers have a chance, but I'm not too confident.
You don't think they make the playoffs?
I don't know if they make the playoffs. Right now, I don't know. If they have to string together, a solid win streak. I think
a game like this could be a springboard. A lot of times you see that, especially these rivalry games. Jeter, Toker need a tougher center on his line who could forecheck. John Fay, Jack thinks he is Connor McDavid when he isn't, and that's what he needs to understand. He is not McDavid. I mean, fair point. I don't know that he thinks he's McDavid, but he does get very cute with the puck a lot, and it cost us tonight big time. Cost us big time. Bob Jenkins, when Hughes is great, though, he's the best, right? You bandwagons. I don't know what that means per se. I think it's, I'm not hating on Jack. I'm just giving a fair criticism that was, I think, warranted in tonight's game. But obviously, Jack's our most offensively gifted player, or at least one of the two. I would say Bradder's right there with him. Bradder's the man. Traveling Devil Jack can't own Rags every game, and he had a goal tonight, despite me.
And an assist.
He had a goal and an assist?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, goal and assist, 2-point night, but I still think he played pretty terribly. But a huge play by Dougie Hamilton. I mentioned it, but what a play by Dougie to just throw the body that leads to that goal. I'm going to call that an unofficial assist. Unofficial assist on the Brader goal. Oh, no, he did get an assist. He must have touched the puck. Nice. If he didn't, he would have got the unofficial assist as well. But what a hit. What a hit. Keep it up with the Devils. You guys are going to hate on Jack Hughes for one bad game. I don't know. I mean, some of the people I would say it constitutes hate, but some of it I think I'm just giving fair criticism. Some of the comments are hate. Mine I'm coming from a place of love, guys, but it's fair criticism. Horrible game tonight. Luke, Jack doesn't face the media after losses. John Woodson, Jack can't keep the puck on his stick on his skates on the ice. Yo Holmes, Trocheck also dominated face-offs today. The goof. For Devil, Jack's nemesis is the poke check. Said that before. Yeah, they're prepared. Every time he went with the little delay or tried to overhandle it, they were just ready. They didn't bite or overcommit, and they would strip them or jam them up. They're prepared. Tim Frith, will the Devils seek payback against the Rangers at the Rock in April? I certainly hope so. But the Rangers came out and they played in that overtime. We easily could have won. I mean, wow, we were just trading chances. Max, yeah, I mean, I would say 2 not very good plays by myself, so that's frustrating. That's not really a team thing. That's kind of like a personal thing, definitely want to take back. I mean, I would have liked a more aggressive ownership, but that's pretty direct. Wasted Youth Comics and Action Figures. I blame the refs again for the weak calls on the Devils. I will say that call on McDermott early, if that was Paul Cotter or another guy that kind of just hits a guy in front of the net, like it wasn't crazy. I don't think you could call that in a game like this, but because it was Curtis McDermott, I believe it was called. Again, I'm not going to sit here and cry about the refs, but I thought that penalty was a load of bullshit, and the Rangers scored on the ensuing power play. Terrible. Why is there a Rangers dirtbag on here? It's my buddy Chris, a.k.a. The Rocket, and he comes over for some of the Devils Rangers games, and he's been on here before for the post-game. Markstrom for President Part 2. I mean, wow. Can't say enough about Markstrom, but in the end, he can't score goals. So he can only do so much. Pretty good game for Markstrom. I would have liked to see maybe him slide a little bit better on that Panarin goal. But outside of that, I mean, we could have been down 5-2 easily in the third period, at some point in the third period, if not for Markey. I mean, he stood on his head, kept us in there, and the team better fix it in front of him because that was just a sloppy game. Jay Snow, this team looks lost. Looks like last year again. That's a very, I think, dramatic take. I believe this team is way better than last year, but this recent skid is definitely troubling. Zach W. Rangers still can't score 5 versus 5. Well, they didn't have to. We gave them too many power plays. And again, I think that Curtis McDermott one was nonsense. And then the Bastion penalty was a bad one too. But what are you going to do? These things happen. Wasted Youth Comics and Action Figures. Rags are not making the playoffs anyways. If I had to bet, I think they do. I can never count out a good goalie.
Without making a move though. Like, what do you think? The team as is would
How do you go from winning the President's Trophy to not making the playoffs?
Ace.
How does that happen?
But they've looked horrible.
I understand they have.
They are a far cry from what they were last season.
Great, but I'm not saying to win the President's Trophy again. How do you not make the playoffs?
I don't know,
man. As a wild card, there's going to be some, that bottom's going to be a dogfight. Fentanyl Floyd with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Call me Jack Hughes because I just turned over 2. You guys are brutal. Absolutely brutal. I could make the argument, Fentanyl Floyd, that he only turned over 1 because we got the 1 point. So he I guess, yeah, I could see it both ways. They got the extra point, but yeah, he did give them the 2 on a platter, but wow. But thank you for the super chat, Fentanyl Floyd. Now I'm trying to find my place again. Bob Jenkins, Markstrom is a bit overrated. I mean, did you see the last game? Did you see the game tonight? I mean, tons of grade A highlight reel saves. The Kraken game was a joke. He literally stole that game, and he is the only reason the Devils were in the game tonight. So to say Markstrom is a bit overrated, I mean, what was your impression of him as a Rangers fan?
He's great. He's awesome. You can't say that he's overrated. I mean, I don't think the Devils are where they are without the guy, obviously.
No. I totally agree. Keeping up with the Devils, people don't understand the regular season is basically meaningless if you make the playoffs. yes and no. Home ice is huge in the playoffs. The home team's record at home throughout NHL history will tell you
exponentially better. Yeah.
So, I mean, you are playing to get into the playoffs. Obviously, it's a crapshoot. Anyone could win once you get in, and that's the beauty of the NHL playoffs. The best, hands down, the best playoffs in all of sports. I would say the best. It starts in April, so you're talking basically the best 2 months, in my opinion, of any sports stretch is the 2-month NHL playoffs. But once you get in, you get hot at the right time. Anyone can win. That is the beauty of it. But obviously you want to have home ice. And so that regular season really kind of gives you time to solidify your position in the standings, hopefully get home ice, and then obviously gel as a team, figure out how you're going to play, find your identity, get chemistry, and keep it moving. But, the postseason is what matters. Yo, Holmes, 25 giveaways, that's disgraceful. Why even bother getting suited up? I agree. That is disgraceful. Completely disgraceful, and they gotta work on it. I mean, 25 giveaways to 10 for the Rangers, disgusting. Ted, not good enough, no bueno. They have to learn how to win games like this. And we have seen them win some tight games, but unfortunately, as of late, in a lot of these tight ones, it's been going the other way. Tonight is another one of them in overtime. For a brief second there, I thought we might see the first New Jersey Devils shootout of the season, but the Devils have not gone to a shootout yet this year. Have won or lost every overtime game. Ends in overtime. Never a shootout. John Woodson, same exact team as last year. Cotter, Nason, and Dylan have to be like, I'm tired of carrying the physical play. And that's why Fitz got him. And, heavier, edgier, more violent. It needs to spread throughout. Yeah, Woodson, another quality point. The new guys are the only guys bringing it in that department. Other guys need to step up. You need to hit guys. You need to play mean. Everyone seemed like they bought in for a stretch, even going back to a few weeks ago. And then it was like they just turned it off, like non-existent. No, you got to play like that every single night. Play like a playoff team, like dogs, like the Panthers do. And those are teams that go far in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to just, if they think they're just going to kind of lollygag through the regular season, not smash guys, and all of a sudden they're going to be this machine in the playoffs. You're not, because there's teams playing like this every night. Jay Snow, we're lucky we played the Rangers. We probably would have been blown out. When is that priest coming to exorcise Lindy's ghost? Not soon enough. Absolutely not good enough. Stickfink says, Chris, no need to hide your eyes with your cap. You won. Woodson with more brutal takes. Woodson is SST's little cousin, says Amagi Legacy. What's going on, Amagi? I love you guys. Impressed with Brad's play this game. Yeah, Brader brings it every night. He's a gamer. Glad to see him break his streak, and Jack as well. But with Jack breaking the streak comes some just sloppy hockey. And it cost us dearly in overtime. Joel Reyes, Steve Alekhead is very happy with the result tonight. I'm sure he is. He was probably like, take that for Instagram hockey. John Woodson, I'm actually hoping for us to fall to the wild card spot. Better to play the Caps than the Canes. That one's kind of a coin flip for me. I mean, that's just say pick your poison.
Caps are...
The Canes have owned the Devils in the playoffs, man. The Devils have struggled with them for eternity.
Well, who would you rather play personally?
Out of those two?
Yeah. If you had to pick your poison.
Probably the Caps. But they're both very good teams. Val, Hughes has a 36% face-off percentage for his career, just awful. Yeah, hopefully something he could get better at in time, but it doesn't seem like he's ever going to be, a face-off wizard by any stretch. Celluloid therapy, what's going on? Reminder, if not for Markstrom, we'd be 0-6 in our last 6. That's greatly concerning, and I completely agree. Markstrom stole the point tonight. So the last 3 points we got, the 2 for the win against the Kraken and the 1 point we got tonight, were courtesy of Jacob Markstrom thefts. And I truly hope that this coaching staff rewards Jacob Markstrom for his service and gives him the net again Saturday night at home against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I do not want to see Jake Allen in that game. Nothing against Jake Allen. But when Jacob Markstrom gives you everything for 2 consecutive games and basically steals you 3 points, and to Celluloid Therapy's point here, we'd be 0-6 if not for him in the last 6. Give the man the net. Give the man the net. I mentioned earlier on the pregame live. If you guys haven't seen it, let me put the link in the description. The great Martin Brodeur was on the Cam and Strick podcast. I've told you guys about a Cam and Strick former New Jersey Devil. Cam Jansen has a podcast with his buddy Strick. One of my favorite hockey pods. I try to watch it when I can. I especially like watching their interviews. The great Martin Brodeur, I just dropped the link in the description, was on the pod. It just came on their channel yesterday. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but among the things he talked about was, the current state of goaltending, the way they do this tandem nonsense, some super specific like techniques and positional kind of stuff. But amongst the things he talked about regarding Jacob Markstrom, he said Marky wants to play every night. He wants to play every night. And that's what I want for my goalie. Marty was the same way. True number one guys, true competitors, guys that want to win. They want to play every night. You've seen Marky's full of fire in that San Jose game, smashing a stick on the way off the ice. You saw tonight in the fracas when he got ran over, he got up and he gets right in there. Markstrom is an ultimate competitor. He wants to win and he hates losing. And I want everyone on the team to become infected with the Markstrom mentality. Kobe Bryant had the Mamba mentality. Now I'm calling it Markstrom mentality. Be aggravated when you lose. Get fired up. Do something. Luke Perry, the East is that bad. The Rangers, with as bad as they have been, can still make it. Yeah, of course.
That was your point that you made during the game.
Yeah, a lot of the teams fighting for the wild card, they're not great teams. They don't have Igor Shesterkin. And so, it's funny to me, you and a couple of my other Ranger fan buddies have all been kind of super negative on the Rangers, and I get it. They've been, well, you're seeing a bunch of negative Devils fans here, and we're how many points ahead of the Rangers in the standings? Let's see. We got 54. Yeah, we're 14 points ahead of you in the standings, and you see how negative Devils fans are right now. So I could only imagine, how some Ranger fans are feeling. But in reality, they still have. What game was this for the Rangers tonight? This was game. I got to go all the way down. They're at the bottom here. 41. This was exactly the halfway point for the Rangers. They have a full half a season. I hate. I'm not rooting for them, but gun to my head, I would say the Rangers make the playoffs. You look at those other teams they're fighting with. It's just with Shesterkin, I believe they will find a way to claw into one of those two wild card spots. Stick Figs, what's up? Jack's not a rookie anymore, but he's only 23. He's still young and in this league. Mistakes are going to happen. It just came at a really unfortunate time. I agree with that, but we're seeing a lot of the same stuff. Like you gotta. Once your go-to moves aren't working, you have to be smart enough to realize, like, all right, they're on to me. Let me try something else. Maybe let me dish it quicker. Jack has to learn that he can be a hockey hero, but hero hockey isn't going to work. It didn't work tonight. Max, OT is all about open ice. What does our star try to do? Squeeze between three players, literally glued to him. Very irresponsible, situationally unaware, immature hockey. Can't have it both ways, and I agree there. LJ, Mac got some good looks. Would have lost my mind if he scored. Yeah, he had a really good chance in the first period. Obviously, if Curtis McDermott scored, there was going to be, possibly fireworks on this channel tonight. Win or lose. Stick Figs, Devils don't refine their footing soon, and our lead over the division is going to shrivel up real quick. Yeah, it is. Go Boro. I forgot name, sorry to ask, but to your Rangers fan friend, this is Chris the Rocket. How long do you reckon Panarin and Kreider and Zibanejad core is staying around? Interesting question.
Honestly, I was looking into news, recent news that Zibanejad was going to get traded. I still think that's a possibility. I don't think it's going to stick around. On it, if I had to give my personal take on it, I don't think that core stays around for much longer. I think there's a lot of unhappy guys in that locker room right now.
If you had to pick one of those three to move, who would you?
Zibanejad.
That seems like everyone's down on Mika, huh?
It doesn't seem like he has any fire in his game anymore, man.
Did you see the Devils tonight?
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that.
On the
but I think if they had to move anybody out of those guys, yeah, it would be Mika for sure.
Mary, what's up? The Mercer breakout was great up until a shot on the goal. Need to finish on plays like that. I agree, Mary. Wish Mercer got off a better shot. Great play by him to get the breakaway, but you got to finish, especially, given the stakes, the time of the game, the score. I mean, him scoring there would have been huge. Would have been completely huge. Jason, no, Big Mac is a worthless contract. This whole fourth line sucks. Again, I disagree with you there. You don't know what Matt Rempe may have done tonight if he was not in the lineup. Now, mind you, I do believe, we talked about Rempe playing scared. We saw his media availability yesterday. He knows he's on very thin ice.
He has a target on
his back, and he's on very thin ice. The next dirty hit, he might be suspended for 25 games. That's going to cost him a lot of moolah. John Woodson says fire Fitz. I mean, come on. Go Boro. In terms of trading Hughes for everyone, sure for a McDavid or a Kucherov or a McKinnon, but would you really trade Hughes for Kopitar or Toffoli or Huberdeau? I mean, the fact that you put Kopitar or Toffoli.
Huberdeau.
No, absolutely not.
No,
I do think, there's some more interesting guys kind of in between those two spectrums, Go Boro. But no, there's not many guys I would trade Jack Hughes for, obviously.
Especially not those.
Johnny Danks, what's up, Ace? It doesn't seem like Mercer is never clutch in clutch moments, like never. It's hard. It's hard, Tonight he wasn't clutch. I mean, no one's been. How many guys have been clutch in some of these games as of late? Anyway, not many. Terrible. Max says John Woodson smoking the hard stuff tonight. Go Boro. Gut feeling says Rags squeak into the playoffs. I agree with you there as well. BC, is there a veteran out there who Jack respects that could calm him down, mentor him, and lead by example, a la Mark Messier? That's what Jack needs. I don't know who that player would be. And BC, great point here. I always look for guys like this to be brought in. Now, with that being said, do those guys exist? I do believe so. A couple, maybe it was even 3 years ago now. Years are flying by quick as we get old here. But I always wanted a guy like Joe Thornton, like a few years ago, to kind of be that, legendary kind of guy that everyone respects and commands respect from. I thought Jumbo would have been a good guy maybe a few years ago. Now, that's kind of what I thought Stamkos could have been if he didn't want monster money in free agency. I delusionally believed he was going to take less money and maybe try to go to a true contender that I thought the Devils would have been on his list, potentially. Rumors that we tried to sign him this past summer before Barry Trotz in Nashville, the Predators swooped up and got him and Marchessault.
And he probably would have been in a better position with the Devils.
The Predators are terrible.
Horrible.
Absolutely terrible.
Horrible.
One of the shocking things of the season. But, we talked about this briefly on, I don't know if it was the last postgame. All these things blend together, or maybe a pregame. But rumor is Jonathan Toews is going to try to make a comeback. Now, I do believe 98% chance he goes to his hometown team, the Winnipeg Jets, not only because it's his hometown team, but obviously the Jets are a wagon and one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup at the moment. And so I do think he'll end up there. But if I'm Tom Fitzgerald, I am definitely contacting the Jonathan Toews people and trying to see what type of creative sales pitch I could give to get Toews here. He's going to sign for league minimum, cost nothing, cost no assets to get him. And so I do think BC, a guy like Toews could be one of those guys that Jack could respect, that could kind of learn and be groomed by a guy like him. Now, who else is there aside from him? I'd have to really sit down and think about it. Ones that would be somewhat realistic. But Toews, I think, is there for the taking. If you can convince him, this team is set to go on a real run. But again, I think you're at a huge disadvantage trying to sell him, on the Devils versus the Jets, because the fact that the Jets are just a great team and it is his hometown. So we'll see. Rocket is a Ranger Doomer confirmed.
That's what I was smiling at.
Why are you running? Ace, I was there. Very heartbreaking. But even after that loss, I still had ammo to shit talk to fans. It was all in good fun. Rags fans are pretty funny about it. Oh, man, you saw a great game, a very close game. It's unfortunate the way it ended, but you did see a great game at the Garden. Paul Zinski, brace yourself. Doomers are coming. I'm always braced for Doomers, Paul. That's nothing new. It's another day in the life out here. Alex, Jack had a turnover during a power play that led to a 2-0 that Markey saved. Yeah. He one-handed it, and he lost his edge. I felt like he fell down a bunch of times. Just an ugly game from Jack. But he was fully extended, and he tried to sweep it back in. He missed, and a 2-0 that luckily the Rangers, who were the Rangers guys that came in on the 2-0, was a complete bosh. You were furious.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was brutal. What was it? It wasn't Trocheck and someone else, was it?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
They had so much time. Instead of kind of...
It was Riley Smith and who else? There was another guy.
Whoever was trailing. I can't remember either, but absolutely, lucky there. Another bad Jack turnover, and the Rangers just blew the 2-0. Terrible. Jimmy R says, finally, great effort by the Rangers. I'm assuming Jimmy R is a Rangers fan.
There you go, bud.
Daniel, Rempe was neutered tonight, fixed and well-behaved. No more peeing on the carpet. I wish we saw the bout. I thought there was a chance we were going to see it. I mean, a little disappointing.
You said it right in the beginning of the game. There was going to be a fight, right? I mean, that's what we were looking forward to.
I thought so, but I also said on the pregame I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. I think McDermott taking that penalty early maybe threw off his mojo a little bit, and he was scared to get an extra one. But I thought there was a chance to see it. But after we didn't see it in the first period, and then it was a close game, I thought the chances were dwindling. But then after the rough stuff, my hope was revived. I'm like, oh, maybe this will.
I know. After
Markstrom got ran. I was like, all right, maybe
that little scrum in the goal crease. I definitely thought something was coming.
I thought there could have been. Captain Mofongo, Bob Jenkins sniffing that ping thing with SST. Why are you running? Also bought some beer because naturally, win or lose, we booze. Yeah, cheers to you. Win or lose, we booze. This is not victory vodka. Cheers, this is loser beverages. How do you win the President's Trophy that missed the playoffs the following year? See the 1996 Devils for the answer. Well, cellular therapy. Point taken. The Devils won the Cup in 95. They did not win the President's Trophy. And the New Jersey Devils have, unfortunately, never won a President's Trophy. It would be a nice thing to win. But in the end, it means nothing. In the end, all I care about is what you see in the photos behind me, that big silver shiny thing.
That President's Trophy banner that they hung up.
No. Whoa, time out.
Yeah.
You wish the Rangers hung up a President's Trophy banner. Do you know what it said?
What did it say? I don't.
Regular season champions.
Yeah, regular season champions.
What the fuck?
What is that? What is that?
How does that make? I've been meaning to ask it. How do you feel about that as a Ranger fan? I would be embarrassed.
It's embarrassing.
Regular season champions? Who came up with that?
I want a Stanley Cup banner raised, not a regular season champion. Well, listen,
you guys,
like you said, it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter unless you win it all.
If you get a President's Trophy, it is an achievement. When they win the division, there's always division banners. I'm not mad at it. So President's Trophy, you put a banner up, but it has to say President's Trophy.
Yeah, regular season.
That's a Dolan special.
Any other team have that?
I don't think so. I believe they invented it entirely. I think that's a figment of the James Dolan imagination.
It doesn't even sound good.
I would be furious. If the Devils ever won a President's Trophy and then put up a banner that said regular season champions, I would pick it outside the arena.
It's embarrassing.
And I would try to get as many of these people to pick it as well and say, don't embarrass us as fans.
Right.
But Dolan's always looking for something to puff his chest out. He was like, look at that shit. You see what I did there? Regular season champions. Terrible. Devils never won President's Trophy. Clowns. Traveling Devil, Keefe needs to crack the whip. I completely agree with you there. We'll see, what happens. But tonight was not a good one. Silver lining is the loser point. And again, I hate to look for silver linings. Richard Zimmer, I'm disappointed not one fight. Oh, I am completely disappointed as well. Wanted to see at least one bout, preferably with McDermott. But
you got to think there's going to be one next game. It's the last game in the season and
it's late in the season. It'd be interesting to see what those at that juncture of the season, what that game means to both teams. I'm imagining
is Rempe going to be suspended again by that time? Let's see.
Will Empire State Building make it to the April, or will he be back in Hartford?
Will he play smarter?
Will he stay in the lineup? What are your thoughts on Rempe as a Ranger fan? Do you want him in the lineup?
I want him in the lineup
every night.
Yeah, because I think he has that talent to be that guy in front. He's a big guy. He can create screens in front of the goaltender. He's just that big body that every team covets on the ice. That's why I like Runnin.
Yeah, I've told people I hate on him because he's a Ranger, but I said I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't like him or a guy like him on our team. Now, obviously, he's been playing reckless and he's loose cannon, but very young, trying to get it under control. I think he could be a valuable piece for the Rangers, going forward. It's still going to take some time. Obviously, he's a little bit of a, work in progress.
He's that guy that everybody hates when he's not on your team.
Yeah.
If he ever got traded to your team, you'd love him. Admit it. Right? You'd like to have a guy like that on your team.
Sav, Devils just aren't that impressive when it comes to power plays. I mean, they're still one of the best power plays in the league statistically, but when it goes cold, it goes cold, and it's super unfortunate. Fifey Lane, Dylan's time on ice down. Let's see. I didn't get to. Let's just see what the Dylan 12:55. Yeah, very low.
Low as hell.
Very low. Dougie with 18:18. Kovacevic 19:39. Pesci 21:28. Luke Hughes 24:34. Siegenthaler 18:42. And for the forward group, I imagine Jack Hughes. Wow, 25:06.
Can I just give some props to Brett Pesci? I mean, the guy blocks tons of shots. He did on the Hurricanes. He's just a don.
Pesci's the man. He's been great. Yeah. He's been great for the Devils thus far. He's had a little bit of a rough stretch as the Devils have in the past couple of weeks, but he has, paired with Luke Hughes, he's a huge factor in the turnaround of Luke Hughes defensively speaking. I mean, wow, what an improvement for Luke Hughes. Again, when you look at stories of the season, the Luke Hughes defensive improvement is just night and day. Last year, he was pinching a lot, making poor decisions. This year, he's way more committed to defensive play. You see him using his stick and his speed to close in on guys and shut down opportunities. Love to see it. The maturation of Luke Hughes, definitely one of the bright spots on the season. Nate Bastian, 4 hits, Palat 2, McDermott 1, Timo Meyer 1, Dowling 1, Lazar 2, Paul Cotter with 3. I predicted he would have had 5 or more. Disappointed. You disappointed me, Paulie. Bratt with 2, Brendan Dillon with 2, Hamilton with 2, Kovacevic with 1, Siegenthaler with 3. Siegenthaler had a nice block shot in the third. John Woodson, I said it last year, we should have held off on signing players for a couple of years. Tank mode until our under 175-pound club eat enough hamburgers to withstand a check. Brutal. Ritter Engine Jack has an ego problem at times. That was absolutely careless and dumb OT play. I don't know if it's an ego problem as much as
trying to do too much.
Yeah, just trying to do too much and just, believing you're going to be able to pull, a slick one over on a team that's had your number all night in terms of, the little dipsy doodle that I hate to see. They were shutting it down all night. Richard Zimmer, Hamilton was the best hit as a highlight, then nothing. I would say that was probably the prettiest. No, I'll give that the best play because that's like textbook. He just rocks him with the shoulder. Puck comes loose, gets it to Bratt, or gets it to Hughes. Hughes gets the Bratt goal. What a beautiful play. Go Boro. Chris, who's on your Rangers Mount Rushmore? Mount Rushmore, I guess, is 4. 4 guys, right?
Yeah.
Who's on your Rangers Mount Rushmore?
Damn, that's a great question. Definitely Brian Leach. I mean, I was
that was the first guy you named.
Well, because that I have a passion for that
listen,
90s, those 90s.
I'm not knocking the selection.
No, but
it's just interesting to me that as a Ranger fan, that was the first name that came to your mind.
Well, it came to my mind because I love that. I love those Rangers guys. Those my childhood.
He's a deserving member.
Who else?
Dude, the first one you number 11, bro, the captain, Mark Messier.
100%.
That was the first one I thought of, and then Leach and all those other guys. I mean, honestly, I hate to be a dick, but just because I'm not going to talk about the old guys that you've never seen. Like that's
so
that's
you're thinking like guys like we grew up idolizing.
Well, for me, it's hard. If there's someone who's so overwhelmingly over the top in some category or some way, then I would be inclined to put them on, like, per se.
Definitely Leach and Messier.
In 50 years from now, like Devils fans, if someone said, "What's the Devils Mount Rushmore?" Like
Richter.
There's no,
all right, so
there's no point that Marty's not going to be
so
on.
far. I got.
So wait,
Leach.
let me finish.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Right.
So because your team hasn't done dick.
Yeah.
You have 1 cup in 84 years, and your fans trash talk the Devils. We have 3 since your last. Just look behind me. Thanks for coming. 3 Devils cups since your last, but I would imagine that the Rushmore would be skewed heavily towards that 94 team because you have nothing else. Oh, dude, wait, I got an interesting one. I hate to derail and talk all this Rangers shit, but there's Rangers fans in here, and I think a lot of the Devils fans here are hockey fans, so this is a good conversation, even though it's not Devils related per se, but our biggest rival. You said so far Richter, Leach, Messier, I think are all deserving. You got to put the Queen on there, no? Queen Henrik. He's got to be on there.
So you're going to have 2 goalies on the list?
I mean, this is your list, not mine. I'm a Devils fan.
All right. Well,
but just statistically speaking, but I could see you not putting him on there. I'm curious to see your thoughts on a guy who had a lot of regular season success, some playoff runs, but never won the big one. Would you put the Queen on there? I mean, you've already struggled. I'm not a Rangers fan.
The King, yeah. So I think maybe that's a good. I think I would agree with that.
I'm not saying that's
the other
my
guy.
list.
Yeah. The other guys.
The only ones I could definitively tell you, if someone said to me, who do you think should be the Rangers Rushmore?
Yager, but I mean, you think Yager, but he was on
not long enough. I would say for me, what I would believe that the Rangers Rushmore would be obviously Messier.
And I'm not saying
Leach
there's other Rangers that aren't.
But after that,
worthy.
It's murky waters.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think at some point, first ballot Hall of Famer, like I think you'd have to put Hank on, and I could accept Richter. I mean, really, outside of that.
So Lundqvist, yeah, I think I would go.
Who's bumping one of them off?
Lundqvist, Richter, Leach, and Messier, and there was
tons
of other old guys that I would.
Well, we're not counting the old guys.
Yeah, all right, we're not counting the old guys. So that's
interesting.
My list. That was a good question.
Good question from Go Boro. Traveling Devil, Keefe can't be soft at all on these guys. He has to get on it ASAP. Yeah, I agree. I would like to see some Herb Brooks suicides till guys are vomiting. I don't think coaches typically in this day and age take that much of a hard-ass approach, or at least I don't think Keefe will. But, wow. Yeah, 4 Devils says, bag skate. Jack literally got the 3rd star. That shows how much the media doesn't know, Bob. But in the end, if a guy has 2 points, a goal, and an assist, I could see them doing that. Points, right? John Woodson, good to know Hamilton can run someone over. Dude is only, 6'6"? Bratter is turning into a little bulldog. Shades of Brian Giunta. Love Bratter. He's been an absolute beast. Ritter Engine says Valaket wanking off right now. Terrible. I'm scanning the comments here. Devils Rule 908. Wonder if Valley felt that Mika was trying to embarrass Marks from an OT there at the Forsberg. Yeah, the thing that Valaket cried about in the Instagram hockey from that earlier game.
Oh, is that where the
was
Instagram
when Jack went the one hand? Yeah, Valaket. You don't remember? You were here.
Yeah.
Instagram hockey because Jack tried a one-handed move, and I don't even know if it was by design or he got in too tight and then just had to resort to that. But essentially, it's exactly what Zibanejad did in overtime on one of the sequences before the goal. He kind of went in one-handed too, which was the exact play Valaket cried about. Jay Snow, we were almost 20 points ahead of the Rangers before this great stretch. Kevin G, healthy scratch for Mr. Jack would be understandable. What the was he thinking, trying to stick handle through two defenders on a 3-on-3 situation? I quite simply, he wasn't thinking there. It was a terrible sequence. Insane Pollock, midseason slumps happen, and that's what this road trip was. Yeah, it was. But they got to get out of it. That one win is not nearly enough. Now we're 1-5 or whatever. 1-4-1 in the last 6, and the 3 points came courtesy of Jacob Markstrom theft. Because without Markey, we're 0-6, as someone pointed out earlier. SST, I'm referring to winning the cup, then missing the playoffs. You think you'd figure that out on your own?
They're brutal.
Go Boro. Could Zibanejad being offered to Vancouver for JT Miller? I think
they did.
The rumors came out, right?
The rumors came out that they did offer that, and obviously Vancouver turned that down.
If I'm Vancouver, I'm telling you to take, to go off and hang it up pretty quick.
Yeah, right now I would never do that trade if I was Vancouver.
Fentanyl Floyd, Mika should donate those luscious locks.
The dry hair.
Mika with the dry hair, as Sean Avery calls him. Noah, Big Mac was an offensive weapon tonight. You were all haters. Amagi, I never get excited on a Mercer breakaway, let alone a lot of Devil breakaways recently. Yeah, they've struggled with finishing breakaways all season. For sure. Just a comment. Sorry, Sam Carrick wanted to play some Instagram hockey and make it look flashy. Sorry. Bows. I think CBJ sneaks into the playoffs in honor / motivation of Johnny. Obviously referring to Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau.
And they're playing
rest
good,
in
man,
peace from
right
that
now.
tragedy.
I play fantasy hockey, so I know all about this stuff. So they're playing good, man.
Well, I'm not going to get into something that would probably hurt your soul about that. But side note, did you see the guy that hit them? Is pleading not guilty, and his lawyer said some you'll see.
What is the update on that case?
I think he's pending the next round. You know how these things drag out forever, but essentially his lawyer, they're pleading not guilty, and his lawyer said something along the lines of once all the facts are presented, you'll see that this was, the result of some unfortunate circumstance or something bizarre. But
whenever you hit somebody from behind, I mean,
trying to illegally pass other cars in the shoulder and mow kids down on bikes.
That's inexcusable, and it's really, you can't defend that. How can you defend?
Well, that's what lawyers are paid to do.
Yeah, of course.
Walt, what's going on? Just popping in briefly to say yuck, and hopefully NJ gets out of this funk ASAP. What happened to their fire during the Christmas break is beyond me. Oh, well, let's go Devils. Yeah, that's the $1 million question we all want to know. What happened to this team over the Christmas break? Ryan Harford, what happened to keeping teams at 20 shots or less? We need that back, especially if we aren't going to score goals. Could not agree with you more. And, it is what it is. Unfortunate ending for the Devils tonight. Like many other nights, I'm going to say, they played good enough to win and they played bad enough to lose. One of those games where you trade chances, and sometimes it'll go your way and sometimes it won't. Bob Jenkins says Jonathan Taves to the Devils. I would love to see it again. I think overwhelming favorite to go to the Jets.
Is he really serious about it?
So yeah,
remember when Sean Avery made he was trying to
So Taves had some weird illness, and then he had COVID. There's a bunch of weird shit. I don't remember all the details, but essentially he went out and like sought out like alternative medicine and like went to India and did a bunch of treatments and a bunch of wild shit.
Sounds like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I hope it works out better for Taves because Aaron Rodgers came back. I mean, the Jets suck.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers, not a great season by any stretch.
Taves was a great
and
player.
He's trying to come back.
Yeah.
That's the story. He went to India. He got healthy. And now he's looking to come back. Whether that's this season or next, no one knows. A lot of people think it's going to be next season. If I'm him, the Jets thing makes so much sense. Like, you jump onto the Jets late in the season. Like, you don't have to go through the rigors of the whole season. You're playing for your hometown team with all your family and friends in attendance, and the team is a juggernaut.
Yeah.
It just seems too logical. John Woodson, if they keep playing with this effort, they'll miss the playoffs. I mean, come on, Woodson. They're obviously making the playoffs.
Do you think at this point he just says things just to,
no,
just to create controversy?
I believe he believes some of the stuff that he says. A lot of these people, I believe the stuff that they say.
Woodson, why are you still here?
Luke Teague, who is this rag fan, Rudy Poo? This is my buddy Chris, a.k.a. The Rocket. And he's been on other past Devils Rangers post-game lives. John Woodson says, no rental or trade fixes poor effort. I agree with you there. One guy, probably a bottom six guy, like I keep saying, that's not going to, change the whole team overnight.
The hell is a Rudy Poo?
I think that's a Dwayne The Rock Johnson reference.
Oh.
On your Rudy Poo. You don't remember?
Yeah.
Candy S. The golden era of WWF, the Attitude Era.
Right.
SST, if they miss playoffs, there finally will be changes, so I'm happy if that happens. It's not happening, SST, and you want to just pound your chest and say, I'm so right, and I knew all this. We're halfway through the season, firmly in a playoff spot, and so I don't know where you keep coming up with this stuff. But it's entertaining. John Woodson, I take Rempe on our fourth line. I mean, they're not trading him, but I think he could be a serviceable fourth liner on a lot of teams. Christopher, what's going on? I was there, Ace. Absolutely great game. Yeah, it was an exciting game. If I was there, I would have been furious, obviously, with the result, but a very tightly contested, edge-of-your-seat kind of game. I mean, very entertaining hockey game. Very, very entertaining hockey game. The Insane Pollock, he's gloating after an OT win, but before that, his team got their ass handed to them in the last two games, and they faced his team. Sure celebrated.
Is he talking about me?
No, I think he's talking about one of the Ranger trolls in the chat.
Oh, okay.
London, I'm actually an alcoholic after this road trip. Cheers to you.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. I'm probably well on my way as well.
What did you guys end up going on the road trip anyway?
1-4-1. Terrible. This is Sal from Impractical Jokers and the lead singer from Whitechapel. So I'm assuming he's calling me Sal because people have done that before. I don't know what Whitechapel is.
I don't know what the hell that is either.
It's probably one of these young emo bands.
Maybe. Yeah.
One of these young thing all the kids are listening to. I have no idea what Whitechapel is. True Patriot regular season champs. Richard says Jack's frustrated. I think so too, but he should be after a performance like tonight. The Go Boro says, Rocket, who is your favorite MYR player, current and all time?
Current is Chris Kreider. All time. It's got to be Messier or Leach. I mean, obvious answers I know, but
John Woodson, Hughes giving other teams points like it's still Christmas. Yeah,
it's got to be Messier. Yeah, now that I'm thinking of it.
Go Bora. John Woodson, I'd be down for a Kane rental for the right price. Of course, depends if Detroit goes on a bad run again. I like Kane. Just because of his status and what he's accomplished, I'd be ecstatic if we ever got him. But in the end, I don't think he's truly what the team needs. I do want a bigger, physical, another heavier, edgier, more violent guy. Because obviously the few that we got in the offseason still isn't cutting it. Why do the Rags fans call themselves the Blue Shirts when the Leafs were the OG Blue Shirts? I don't know. It's a good question for Stan Fischler, the Maven. John Woodson, I'd be down for no rentals. Let's stock up on draft picks and rebuild our trade capital. Nah, man, we got to be moving as a win now. Win now. I'm not saying to blow assets on rentals. And I'd be okay if we only saw a bottom 6 guy or something like a lot of people were talking about a potential Taylor Hall reunion. And at first, weeks ago when his name first came up, I was firmly against it. Now I think I'd entertain it if Chicago, especially if Chicago, where I probably want them to as a contingency of the deal. But if Chicago retains salary and they want like a 3rd round pick, it's just to dump Taylor Hall. If his head's in the right place, I would take a chance on him on the Devils for a playoff run. Woodson, pack it in, trade Siegs, and buy out Hall next year. I mean, more trolling in the comments. Ace needs to start playing Tori Amos after Devils losses. Is there any other teams you sneakily root for? No. If the Devils are out of playoff contention or not in the playoffs, I always try to root for a former Devil or someone, in the organization in some capacity that was a Devil that I liked. And so last year I found myself rooting for the Oilers because I always liked Connor McDavid, but most importantly, I wanted Adam Henrique to get a cup. Obviously, he's later in his career. Great Devil and the man that knocked your New York Rangers out in Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. Henrique, it's over! Knocking the Rangers out in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I wanted to see him win a cup. And so to answer your question, no, there is no regular team. It's always, a team with a Devil tie of some sort. True Patriot Ace, this is just miserable. For the last few weeks, they are slipping fast. I mean, guys, we're still in the playoffs. Everybody calm down. It's a bad stretch, but 3 points out of the last 4 available, courtesy of Jacob Markstrom. It could be much worse. Firmly in the playoffs. True Patriot, 2 turnovers and OT by Jack was quite costly. Yeah, it cost us the most it could. The game. Seth says Dawson Mercer contract does not look good. I disagree there. $4 million. Not a lot of money. And Mercer, what? Because he missed the breakaway? I mean, there's more than just, goals and assists. I do want to see some more point production out of him, but I'm not going to, be like, oh, what a bad contract. It's $4 million. He's not making 7. And he's an all-situational player. Oh, here's more Woodson negativity. Timo's contract doesn't look good. At least Mercer's only 2 more years. Stickfig, same thing we say to the Doomers here who only come out for the losses. If you only come out for the highs, then no one wants... I don't know, that got cut off there. Bob Jenkins, Rangers are out of the playoffs after winning President's Trophy. Luke says, can't use Messi. He's an Oiler. You definitely could use Messier on a Rangers Mount Rushmore. Don't be silly. He captained them to their only cup in modern times.
It's ridiculous.
They're only
one of the best games.
Their only cup.
Single-handedly won game 6 against the Devils.
Their only cup AD. Their first cup was BC 1940. And Emily, in the Devils post-game interviews, Markey is blaming the loss on himself. Wow, which obviously isn't true, but Jack has definitely pissed himself. He brought it up many times.
Fatso never shook his hand.
Yeah, Fatso never shook his hand. Just a comment referencing the Sean Avery line. Puck Rock Rangers, the Devils make the pass in the corner to the slot better than anyone in the league. Scary. Yeah, but if they don't finish it, Puck Rock Rangers, they've had a lot of trouble finishing lately. It is unfortunate. Bob, Brodeur over Lundqvist any day. I mean, obviously. Celluloid, Timo hasn't really delivered what I was expecting when we signed him. Again, if you were expecting 80, 90 points yearly, I think your expectations were in the wrong place. I mean, he drew 2 big penalties tonight, of which we did nothing on the power play, but he took 2 high sticks to the face as a result of just being a bull out there and had a couple chances that hopefully he buried. I mean, wow, he's snake bitten now. Hopefully he gets a goal and gets going ASAP, because he had a ton of chances in that Kraken game. He could have easily had a hat trick. He did not. And he had a couple chances tonight. Couldn't get it done. Oh, wow. Yeah, the comments are just flying. I'm just scanning here. Yeah, you guys are getting vicious out here. Vicious. Nicholas says, Rangers own you bums. Devils 5 of 6 points, outscoring them 12-4. Yeah, that's a little bit of a reality check, right? Jason, no, I don't know why we can't set up ozone cycles. It's a problem. And in the playoffs, you can't win without winning board battles and maintaining ozone time. I thought they did a little bit tonight. They had some. They weren't beautiful. They weren't, like some of the shifts the Devils got pinned last game. There was a couple where it was like, it looked like we were shorthanded. They didn't have any like that, but that third line holds on to the puck pretty well, which has been a nice little surprise with Dowling on that third line in place of Haula. I think the third line's looked better than it ever has in recent times. Josh Release says Donato for 3C, move Haula down to 4C. Traveling, Timo was great in the circle. Yeah, I want to see Timo in the circle on the power play. Let him rip it. That's where he made his career essentially in San Jose, just ripping one-timers from the circle. Goboro says, apparently our 22-23 team on a 6-game losing streak, just to throw it out there. People don't care about that. Everyone lives in the very much right now. Right now. The New York nobody. Brodzinski is better than Gretzky. Timo Meyer for JT Miller. Timo is not getting traded, SST. I don't know why. You bring this up every so often. This just the comment 93 guy's a super troll. Carrick is better than the greater than the entire. I can't even read anymore. Entire Devils roster. That's obviously crazy. Captain Mofongo, New York Rangers are the New York Jets of the NHL. I don't know about that.
I don't think we've gotten to that point
yet.
I
don't think they're quite that down, but it could be. Cody Skills, is that the game tonight? It was brutal how they played down the stretch. They just looked in shock since after Christmas, but Markey played great. I wish the team played better. Yeah. The Jacob Markstrom stroke once again. How do you want Timo used? I definitely want to see him get a little more power play time. And leave him in that circle on the right side and just let him just fire off lasers. Cody Skills, I just read that one. I went backwards here. Comments are vicious, man. Vicious. The New York nobody, we're going to sleep great tonight. Most satisfying win of the season. Jay Snow, Taves is 37 and hasn't played. We don't even know if he's going to be ready. Well, for league minimum and no asset cost, I am definitely taking the risk. Again, I think he's going to pick Winnipeg. But, I would you bring him in on a tryout then. But for league minimum, there's not much to lose. The New York nobody, unless the Devils and Rangers switch spots right now, the Devils are not missing the playoffs. I can't see how they would. Puck Rock Rangers, looking ahead at potential playoff matchups. How do you guys think the Devils match up with Florida or Washington? I mean, they've had decent success. I think they're 2-0 against the Panthers right now, both games in Florida. And I think they're maybe 2-1-1 against the Caps. I think I would feel more confident about playing them than
100%.
Then the Hurricanes they just have the Devils number all the time. John Woodson, we were just ignoring the fact we went 1-5 and got severely outplayed by bad teams. I don't think we're ignoring it. But what are we going to do? Sit here and be like, oh, the team sucks? I mean, look where they are overall. As of late, it's been painful. It's been extremely painful, but hopefully the sun will come out tomorrow. Saturday night, another huge one at the Rock against the Lightning. Another sleeper team. What do you think about the Lightning? I always think they're a sleeper team.
Always.
They got weapons, man.
You can never.
Vasilevsky at net. You still got
Braden Point has
Point's
having an amazing season.
Hedman. I always liked Hedman.
Yeah, I always liked him too.
At Richard, we can also talk about the really good teams we beat. And the fair point, like I just said a second ago, beat the Panthers both times on their home ice on that weird back-to-back away matchup. And I think 2-1-1 against the Caps. And I want to say Caps, Panthers, and I think they're 2-2 against the Canes. I mean, they played overall the Devils have matched up pretty well against the better teams, but the losing to the bad teams is a cause for concern. Woodson says, after next week against better teams, we will see. Yep, we got some good teams coming up on the schedule. Lightning, Panthers, Leafs. It's going to be another test. John Fay, if we get Taves and possibly Jake Evans, what line would they play on and who would they play with? Taves, I don't think is going to happen. And I'd imagine Evans would be a third-line center probably. Yeah. I think if we got Taves, he would be assuming he could still play and bring something, he would be an ideal third-line center. Go Boro. We should slide into the playoffs. I put Bucks on it. I want to go headfirst into Canes. I want meat and blood rather than just blood. For Devils will be in the playoffs. Rags will probably squeak into the wild card. I agree with you on both points there. Captain Mofungo, the New York Nobody. We have fans in this chat that are hitting the bad edibles and jump off a cliff after every loss and are ghosts when the team wins. That is correct. Doomers love dooming. Doomers love dooming. Stick figs, anything short of a Nashville level collapse, the Devils make the playoffs. And if the Rangers come back to form in any way, they're making the playoffs. I agree there. Do we win Saturday? I'll be there. I hope so. If we play Markstrom, I think we win. If we don't play Markstrom, I'm going to still say we win, but it's not going to be. I'm not as confident. I'm going to be honest. Allen got lit up by them last time. Bows. Now, Whitechapel is mid-30s metal band. Okay.
Oh.
I basically don't know anything after a certain period of time. Like, even movies and shit, I look at the thing and like people are like, oh, you seen this movie? I'm like, no. And then I see it on the different apps and stuff. Daniel, 97 watching, 41 likes. Hit the like, you lazy bastards. Yeah, give me a thumbs up for your boy. Had to get abused by this guy all night and watch a painful loss. LJ, win now moves only. I also think Hall may help Jack. I think he could. But I'm firmly in the win now moves only. Luke, I want to see an SST versus Ace and No Holds Barred battle royale. If Siegenthaler has brothers, does that make them the Jonas brothers? I don't know if he has any siblings, actually. John Woodson, sealed our fate with all the long-term deals. We have no flexibility to do anything. Well, I mean, we're going to have about $6 million of cap space at the deadline. So I wouldn't say that doesn't give us the flexibility to do anything. I think that gives us the flexibility to do a lot. And by a lot, I mean 2 lesser players or a bigger acquisition of sorts. Go Boro. We put Stevens on our Mount Rushmore and he was a cap. Luke, ask your buddy to name 6 Rangers that weren't Edmonton Oilers in 94. 5 minutes, no internet. 6 Rangers that weren't Edmonton. I mean, they had a lot of Edmonton Oilers. I guess I'm trying to think. Could I even do that?
I don't think I can even do that, honestly. Sergei Zubov, 1.
Zubov is 1. Mateau was never an Oiler, right?
I think he was.
Was he?
I don't know.
Was Mateau an Oiler? I'm not sure if Mateau was an Oiler. I'm trying to think who else.
There was a lot of Oilers, dude.
Well, Leach wasn't an Oiler.
No.
Graves was an Oiler.
Yeah. Bukaboom was.
I don't think Bukaboom on the Cup team.
Good question.
This is your team. I can't remember.
Dude,
he may have come the season after.
So long ago. You're right.
What?
I think you're right about.
No, but the only thing I want you to look up is Mateau.
All right, Stefan.
Was Mateau ever an Oiler? I didn't think he was. It's Matteau.
Yeah, I know how to spell.
You butchered it.
No, I didn't.
And then you go to Wikipedia.
Playing career.
No, he wasn't. Dude, you scroll. You're horrible. How do you even function on webs? Dude, you're like such an incompetent phone user. I saw the teams already, but yeah, you should have clicked on like
hockey reference.
Yeah, I didn't see Edmonton.
Yeah, okay. So he's on San Jose.
No.
Yeah, no.
So we had what? Leach. Oh, Richter wasn't an Oiler either.
Leach, Richter, Mateau.
I'm doing this assignment for you. I think I got more than you did.
Zubov. Tikkanen was an Oiler. Can't use him. Who the hell else? The one more?
Was McTavish an Oiler?
Yeah.
He was too?
McTavish, yeah. He was an Oiler.
Yeah. We need one more.
Yeah. Healy. Ryan Healy. What was his
name?
Glenn Healy. Yeah, there you go. Ha!
I'm trying to think if I could think of any more myself.
And we did use the internet, so I guess we cheated a little bit.
Well, we just looked up to verify Mateau.
That's all right.
Yeah, Glenn Anderson was on that team. He was an Oiler. It is crazy how many Oilers they had.
It's nuts, isn't it? Trying to think of other guys, too.
I'm going to keep thinking about that. Joshua, Dougie has not been the same since the injury. He's getting replaced this offseason. I don't know. So, listen, I don't think he's quite the same. I don't think the fall off is as dramatic as a lot of you people are making it. I can see Kovalov.
Kovalev, yeah.
That's a good one.
Can't forget him.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I could see them looking into it if there was a suitable match to move him and get that money off the books this offseason, potentially. But I think it could be hard, depending on how the season finishes, how he finishes. Woodson says he isn't going anywhere with the $9 million. Luke, if you Chico, Devils have 9 games left in the month of January. I'm calling it now. They figured out and win 6. I'd be happy with 6-3. The New York Nobody says, shut your stupid Rangers fans' mouth at Puck Rock Rangers. And then just kidding. That's my brother. Follow the pod if you're a Rangers fan. There's at least a few of you in here. Woodson, 3 to 4 years before you fix and change this team's DNA. I think that's a real stretch. I think the DNA has already been changed pretty dramatically from last season with all the guys Fitz got. Now, maybe it needs another little tweaking. I wouldn't disagree there. It definitely could use another tweaking. Insane Pollock, good teams have midseason slumps. Cup-winning teams have midseason slumps. Have had midseason slumps. I agree with you there, but again, everyone lives in the very much right now. Luke, best part of the shit stretch is Mark's play. Absolutely. Markey has been a dominant force. You can't say enough. The last 3 points were all courtesy of him standing on his head and robbing points from the other team. Crazy Coasty 84, regular season champions equals gym class all-stars. Nolan says so many rag bots and haters. Robert, Ace, I live in Western PA, so I don't get to see the Devs, but listen to radio broadcasts. It seems Hamilton has a hard time hitting the net with shots and Brown finishing. Agree or disagree? No, I mean, not really. Dougie, in my opinion, hasn't been shooting enough. I'd like to see him shoot a lot more. And Bratt has just been struggling a little bit, but he made his best chance count tonight, and he buried it. Luke says, bullshit ace, mess one in as an Oiler. Yeah, but what does that mean? We're talking about teams Mount Rushmores of players. This is like, I guess we're only 10 minutes behind, I suppose. But we're talking about his Mount Rushmore for Rangers. Regardless of Messier going into the Hall of Fame as an Oiler, that doesn't mean that he's not eligible to be on a Rangers Mount Rushmore. He certainly is. He most certainly is. That's I think that's preposterous. What's going on, Damian? Welp, I expected this. Devils are starting to play sloppy, and Rangers are close to getting their shit together. Nevertheless, I still love my Devils. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Rough stretch, and hopefully they break out of it soon. Tonight was a bad one. Daniel, are SST and John Woodson brothers that share bunk beds in their parents' basement? There's a long-standing theory that they may, in fact, be the same person on different devices, or perhaps toggling in between accounts.
Go to that one.
Which one?
That one right there.
This?
Yeah.
Amagi says, best Ranger jersey, Chris, and why is it the 2012 Winter Classic?
Why? What does that mean? Why is it the...
I don't know. Were they in the Winter Classic in 2012?
Yeah. That was a nice jersey. But my favorite Rangers jersey was the Statue of Liberty jersey.
It's a sick one.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's a sick one. What was that, like 97-ish?
Yeah, in the late 90s. And then they brought it back, you know.
Do they wear it now still?
No,
they went to that other one.
Yeah,
they wore tonight.
That's nice too. But
dude,
that's classic.
I would say the Statue of Liberty is way nicer than the one they wore tonight.
Yeah.
I think the Liberty one was way nicer. Travel and Devil. Imagine the Devils playing every aspect of the game like they do in parts throughout the season. If they just get it together, it's game over for the rest of the NHL. That's a big if, Travel and Devil. This slide sucks. Hopefully they snap out of it and get back to the A game. But at this point, I'm starting to wonder, is that lockdown defense, was that a fleeting moment in time that we'll never see again? I don't really know. Luke says Timo haters have soft head syndrome. I absolutely love Timo. You guys know that around here. And I'm not going to listen to Timo slander. Traveling Devil, we've all seen the power play, penalty kill, goaltending, and defense play great. Just need to pull it all together. Yeah, where is it, though? Where is it? LJ Lightning have also played 6 or 7 games less than us. It's crazy. Yeah, the schedule is just so super annoying. John Woodson, 100 out of 100 Devils fans would trade Hughes for Kachuk. And then the New York Nobody says Brady or Matthews. Yeah. So we'll look for clarification on that. Go Boro. At John Woodson, if you got handed the GM reins, what would you do? Oh, boy. Bo's the next Devs vs. Rags game is my wedding day. I'm going to send a letter to see if they can push it to 7 p.m. and not 3 p.m. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
Congratulations on the engagement. John Woodson, I would trade all the soft players while they have value, including Jack and Luke. We need to start forward like Nikita Kucherov. I mean, come on, man.
Nikita Kucherov is in his early 30s now, though.
They're not trading Jack and Luke anyway.
They're not going to trade a guy that's in his 20s for a guy that's in his 30s, for Christ's sake.
Jay Snow, your boy ain't leaving early tonight. Haha, last time he was out quickly. That's the difference between a win and a loss, guys. See what that does? He's just enjoying it. Yo, Holmes, nothing is lamer than hanging a banner in MSG. It's his regular season champions. Hey, even he agrees. I think most sensible Ranger fans would. That is an embarrassment. Puck Rock Rangers, definitely one of the least spicy New York Ranger, New Jersey Devils games I've seen. I agree with you there. And it is a disappointment. Stickfix says, time for a win now move. Timo Meyer, Dawson Mercer, and then Runnin with the Devils channel for Quinn Hughes. Good luck pushing that one through. Robert Lampkin, a question for the Ranger guest. What happened? A President's Trophy and white hot start, then the collapse. Internal tension notwithstanding, was there an underlying cancer? Clear this up. What do you have to say?
Is there an underlying cancer? That's a question that I ask myself. Like, what is the deal in the locker room? Like, I would love to know, because I hear, I follow some Rangers channels on YouTube, and there's a lot of people with speculation that there's tension in the locker room.
With who?
But I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I don't know who it's with. I think they like playing for Laviolette, but they're not playing to their ability right now. So I don't know what the problem is. There's a lot of unhappy guys, but why are they unhappy is the question. And I know Zach Jones wants a trade. They're allowing him to look for.
Stickfix says, I'm swimming with the Canucks now. Yeah. New York Nobody. Jack Hughes playing OnlyFans hockey. Brutal.
Whew. Absolutely
brutal. Go Boro at John Woodson. Oh, my bad. I'm a little drunk. After all, win or lose, we booze. Cheers to you. Stickfix says that was some Google Plus hockey. Luke says, Ace, you just called the Tampa Bay Lightning a sleeper team. Am I drunk? I'm not drunk. You don't think they could go on a run? You think that's so crazy? Yo, Holmes, Zubov, Kovalev, Leach, Richter, Healy.
I like that list.
John Fay, Devil's goal after the ideas would be insane, but we shall see when that day comes. Jay Snow, Tampa's played the least amount of games, too. Yo, Holmes, great answer, unless you looked. Off the top, son, Brian Noonan. Jay Snow says good teams win more than 3 in a row. I mean, eventually we will. John Woodson, our only trade asset is Nemitz. I think we have some others. That would probably be our biggest piece. And again, I wouldn't trade him just for a rental or for like a so-so player, in my opinion. If Nemitz is getting traded, I think it has to be for something substantial. Now Stick Figs is offering Dougie Hamilton, Nemitz, and the channel for Gustav Forsling. And now I'm hunting with the Panthers. Oh, man. Yo, Holmes says, Woodson, please stop with your brutal takes. Jack is supposed to score, not have done turnovers. He's not a rookie anymore. Roman Czechmonic. Wow, former Flyers goaltender. What a throwback. As long as we are attached to Jack Hughes and his brain-dead plays like getting stripped by Connor Carrick and just giving the puck away with no pressure and OT, we will live and die by him. It's year 6. A lot of the people are out. I just gave some fair criticism. Some of you guys are out for Jack Blood tonight. I'm not quite there. Yo, Holmes. Jack had 2 points and some bad turnovers. Cope. Stick Fig says, Chris is a man of culture. Even I have to admit the Liberty logo is sick, and I would buy a blank even if it never sees the light of day. Shame on you, Stick Figs. I would never buy anything Rangers. Luke Teague, I just remembered Kovalev. That's like forgetting Gomez. Bose, is it weird loving the Statue of Liberty jersey for the Rags while knowing the statue is parked in NJ Waters? To the guest you have on, that's addressed to you. That Lady Liberty is technically in New Jersey. How do you feel about that?
But it's a symbol of New York, I think.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, you know,
no one looks at the Statue of Liberty. He's like, damn, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But she is in New Jersey.
Sure.
Gretzky wore the OG statue jersey, of course. I actually believe, oh no, it wasn't. His last game was the regular one. I'm picturing his last game. Gretzky's last game. I think it was against the Penguins, regular season game. They didn't make the playoffs that year. It was the regular jersey with the, the Rangers.
Yeah.
But I vividly remember Gretzky in the Statue of Liberty jersey. Roman Czechmonic. Time to coach up Jack Hughes. He's too protected by all the good he does, or that he had X points. He's incredibly volatile and immature when it matters. He should lead in PK time and play 25 minutes. So he played over 25 minutes tonight. Hopefully he starts to, make a little more better decisions with the puck, especially after, to me, the Rangers had his number all night in terms of, the little extra puck handling, and he did it in overtime, and it cost us. John Woodson, Nikita Kucherov absolutely destroyed, who was it, Zaglicki in the playoffs. Nikita doesn't mess around. Russian machines don't break, guys. Ovechkin told you guys. Russian machine don't break. Traveling Devils has replaced the Rags hat with a Runnin with the Devils beanie. Ace, what's wrong with you? I've admitted to Woodson and me being the same person earlier in the chat. Wake up. Oh, I missed that. Marshall, the John Woodson hate on Jack reminds me of the Skip Bayless hate on LeBron. For NBA fans. If you know, you know. I know that I'm not a big NBA guy, but I've seen over the years Skip Bayless just, going at LeBron regularly and refusing to move off of his stance. I mean, credit to him for being consistent with it, but yeah, it's kind of a feud. Luke Teague, disagree. All-time teams only get one player. We don't get Mogilny. We're talking about two different things, though. We're talking about a Rushmore. Obviously, he would be on the Rangers Rushmore. What's going on, Chris? They are unhappy because they soft like marshmallows. I hate this team. I only like 3 guys on this godforsaken team. He's a sensible Ranger fan that popped in a few weeks back. Who are the guys you like, Chris? I'm curious to know. Ryan, hey, Chris, they are probably unhappy because they have to wear red shorts. Who wears red shorts? Wait, what the hell? I'm so lost now. Natus, this road trip is also plagued with bad ref calls and goals waved off. The team plays better at home. Well, it took a while for them to remotely do anything at home. Finally, recently, they've improved their home play, but they used to be much better on the road. They have to be able to win in both. John Woodson, y'all will get tired of Jack 5 years down the road. Luke Teague, have to agree the Statue of Liberty is a great jersey. Go Boro. Tampa in the back of their mind knows they are a declining force, so maybe there's a now or never thing in the back of their mind that could factor in the dark horse. Obviously, I think it is. They know their time in the sun kind of as a unit of those core guys is coming to an end. They are aging, and so...
Yeah, but there are a number of players that are young that are really good.
For sure.
Yeah, Brandon Hagel, Braden Point. I mean,
I think they have at least a few more years.
Tampa is still solid.
Amagi, I just don't understand why Jack plays like this when he has cost OT before trying to strive for the highlight reel. Learn from Brat. Just play clean finesse hockey, not the colorful shit. That's what's got him here, though, Amagi. You have to understand he's played like that his whole life, kind of loosey-goosey, for lack of a better term, kind of pond hockey. And you live by the sword, die by the sword. And tonight we died by it. Died by it? We were dead? We were killed by it?
No, that makes sense.
These people still fighting. Yo, Holmes, Woodson, your takes are poop emoji. Marshall says, maybe, John, but we aren't 5 years down the road, bro. He laughed my ass off. And I agree with you there, Marshall. In 5 years from now, maybe you're right, but we're not there yet. We're in the present day. And I'm hoping we have a cup championship, and I have a photo of Jack Hughes on this back wall hoisting Lord Stanley before the 5 years from now. Seth, if we lose Saturday, you think there'll be a trade next week? No, I don't know why everyone's acting like every game is the end of the world. Now, if we lose 4 of the next 5 or something, do I think there'll be a trade? Yeah, but I'm not going to say there's so much stock in the game on Saturday that if we lose, there must be a trade. I think that's kind of crazy. Bose, if you were the GM at Runnin with the Devils, what would your trade bait be? As much as it pains me, my main trade bait is unfortunately because of again, this is kind of a twofold thing. If I'm the GM, this should come as no surprise, I am 100% locking up Johnny Kovacevic, period. I like Kovacevic. He's made Siegenthaler look good. I am locking up Johnny Kovacevic first and foremost. With that being said, that means my defense is kind of crowded still. It's obviously very crowded now, but signing Kovacevic, I don't see a path for both Seamus Casey and Shimo Nemec to the big club in the next year or two even. Outside of, talking about you would have to be moving Dougie Hamilton and someone else, which essentially would only realistically leave you with potentially trying to move Siegenthaler. And so my main trade bait would be Shimo Nemec, but I'm not giving him up for nothing. I would trade Nemec in the right deal, but I have to get something super substantial back. I'm not trading him just for a so-so player. It has to be something severely substantial. How about those Devils chants at the Garden? Yeah, I think we heard Markey and maybe a couple other ones.
Yeah, that stupid one that you guys do.
Roman Czechmonic says, Jack shouldn't be leading in PK time on ice and playing 25 minutes. We are asking for mistakes. Well, chalk him up to growing pains, my friend. Sheldon Keefe seems like he's now obsessed with reforming Jack Hughes and making him a more all-around, more well-rounded player. And they're giving him a lot of PK time. But with some of the mistakes, you also see, shorthanded chances created sometimes. And so it is kind of, again, a live by the sword, die by the sword. Stickfigs, hey, I still have an MIR hat from the Garden tucked deep, deep away from when I was young and my uncle tried converting me. One day I'll use it for my dog's canine training. Burn that thing. Chris, I would wear NJ merch, believe it or not, but not Isles because it's damn ugly. I mean, the Devils logo is one of the best in sports, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Devils fan. It's just super clean. I actually even prefer to live in NJ over NY, much better quality of life. I don't know. A lot of New Jersey now is kind of like New York. I mean, obviously not the same, but just over congested, expensive. If I didn't have family here, I would obviously I would care. I'd fly back for Devils games, but I'd definitely probably move to Florida or Texas, somewhere warm weather. Maybe even I would say California, but that's a whole different kind of. Colorado's nice. I mean, there's a lot of states. I would live that are just, in my opinion, a better overall quality of life. John Woodson with another positivity comment. Tampa cleans our clock Saturday 4-1. I hope you're wrong. Yo, Holmes, Connor Carrick used to be a scrub for NJ years ago. Sam Carrick is the current scrub on the Rags. Well, he got one. Jay Snow, Ace's team keeps playing everything off the rush. They'll never win a cup. Their one-dimensional play is being expected right now. Every scoring chance we had tonight was off the rush. I mean, we had some cycles. Nothing beautiful. Amagi, Stickfigs at Amagi. Why do they have to choose red, white, and blue? Rejecting those colors makes me feel unpatriotic sometimes. Red, white, and blue, baby. America. Hopefully America can, carry on some of that success of the USA World Junior team. You saw that? They won the gold in World Juniors. Little overtime shootout. Breakaway. Beachmaster, Devil's identity is pond hockey. I don't think the whole identity is, but we do see a lot of pond hockey within games, and pond hockey cost us tonight a little bit. Stickfigs, I must take my leave. Something, Chris. Devils fans, be critical, but don't lose hope. Ace, we love you, but if we need your channel for a win now move, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. If I got to be on the move. Jay Snow, we just lost 4 out of 5. Yeah, it's terrible. Amagi, trade incoming if the Rock doesn't sell enough Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses on Saturday. John Woodson says you signed Kova and trade Siegs. There's no cap room for both. You need 3 bruising defensemen. Other than Kova, we have Dylan, not enough. I wouldn't be mad at that. I definitely want Kovacevic here no matter what. I've been saying this for weeks now. I want Kovacevic for sure. And that's leading back to the previous question someone threw out there is, because we just have so many defensemen, and I do think, Seamus Casey eventually would fill a better need for the Devils on defense than Nemitz would. Nemitz is the guy that I'm floating out there, but I'm not giving him away at all. Yo, Holmes, I wish I had a Taylor ham and cheese on everything right now, bro. Whoa, yo, Holmes, are you just saying Taylor ham and cheese without the egg? Because one of my buddies just gets Taylor ham and cheese, and the first time I saw him do it, I'm like, what? No egg? What about you?
It's sacrilegious.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's sacrilegious. Taylor ham and cheese is good.
Yeah, it is.
But it can't compare to a Taylor ham egg and cheese.
No.
You're getting an extra ingredient.
You're getting protein, man.
You're getting protein. Well,
more
is,
protein.
Is there protein in Taylor ham?
Of course.
Protein on protein with that fat.
Yeah.
All that fat in there. John Woodson, Kova for his size has surprisingly good wheels. Okay. I'm a big Johnny Kovacevic guy. Roman Czechmonic, is it feasible for Nemitz to spend another year in the A? Yeah, if he's still with the Devils organization, I think that's the inevitable reality. I do think Fitz gets Kovacevic signed up. And even if we trade Siegenthaler, say, and that opens up one spot, I don't know that Nemitz is going to get it handed to him over Seamus Casey. I don't know. Chris says I'd live in Vegas. I think I'd die if I lived out there. You ever been to Vegas?
No, I want to.
Dude, Vegas, I've been there so many times when I was younger, and
yeah?
I went there a lot in a short stretch.
Really?
Yeah, I went to a bunch of, believe it or not, I've never been to a UFC there. I've been to a bunch of boxing matches, and I saw the Devils play the Golden Knights out there.
Wow, that's cool.
Trade Siegs for Wi-Fi from Montreal. Why would they do that, though? Bose, I moved out of NJ to NC, North Carolina, so much better taxes. Yeah, probably so much better everything. Traveling Devil lives in Florida, and he says Florida is a hellhole. He's trying to get back here.
Where's Traveling Devil?
He lives in Florida somewhere.
Yeah.
Traveling Devil, where in Florida do you live again? I forget. Yo, Holmes says, Bose, where you at in NC? John Woodson, offense is failing the most. You create good defense when you have sustained offensive pressure. I agree with Woodson there as well. The shortcomings of the offense, I think, has put the unnecessary strain on the defense. But the defense lately has been, again, it's probably as a function of a bunch of things, but one of them being the offense not getting it done and not, creating enough sustained pressure so that we could live in the O zone instead of the D zone. Evan, Devils didn't play well enough to win tonight. We need upgrades for Bastion and McDermott. Well, McDermott's not going to be on your playoff roster. He's Matt Rempe pest control, and he was out there to make sure that he took care of business. Daniel says it's snowing here in North Texas right now, but hey, no state income tax. Shout out to the no state income tax. Yo, Holmes, out in meth country. Bose, just say no, bro. Any prospects in the IIHF tourney going to NJ? I don't think so. I'm not fully immersed in every single prospect and the further down the line guys. I don't think we had any, but I could be wrong about that. Someone in here is probably a little bit more up on the young prospects and things, but most of our best prospects are a little bit older. Go Boro. Devil's identity is Stevens crunching Kozlov, Elias to Arnott, Brodeur saving on the line, and maybe Danico headbutting Domi. Man, that's... Luke says Hamilton had to give 10-team no trade list. Yeah. He's gone next year. All right, guys. I'm going to take my 2-minute piss break. Back up. Chris the Rocket. Chris the Rockets is departing. I'm going to take my piss break. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll start to wrap this up. You guys are very chatty.
It's been fun too, man.
I'm in no hurry to go anywhere, but I'm going to take a leak, let this guy out, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Back in 2 minutes. Throw anything more out there. All right, we're back. We are back. Now I'm solo. I have to adjust a little bit. Get this shit out of here. Marshall says the Rags are the Dallas Cowboys and Ice. 30 years of nothing. Hold on, Ranger fan Chris is calling me. Did you forget something? Oh my God, dude. This kid forgot his keys. I'll be right back. What an idiot. Ranger fan Chris, he's all high on the win. I'll be right back. Oh my God. What a knucklehead! This guy left his keys. He's all loopy off a rare Rangers beating the Devils victory. Bose, it's pork roll if you shop at ShopRite. You don't say ShopRite egg and cheese. Oh, back to the old pork roll debate. Brandon says SST, your take on Markstrom backfired. Let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, how wrong was SST about Markstrom? He'll be like, oh, his save percentage isn't good. Please. The guy's second in the league in wins. He's like tied for third or whatever for shutouts. Carrying the Devils. What a terrible take. Luke says you're keeping Kovacevic because if Siegs, Hamilton is gone. I don't really know what that's about. Jason, no, we've been horrible in OT this year, and tonight was probably the worst. It was a sloppy overtime. Courtesy of Jack Hughes, highlighting the sloppiness, unfortunately. Yo Holmes, Bose, it is 100% Taylor Ham. I agree with Yo Holmes for sure. Seth, just had a Big Mac with fries and large Dr. Pepper and a large chocolate shake. That's a beautiful order right there, Seth. That's a real nice order. Bose, Yo Holmes, bro, I live on 75 acres. I farm, not meth. I could never live in NJ again. What do you farm? What do you farm? I'm kidding. Yo, Holmes, what is the most communist town in New Jersey? I'm so curious. Kevin Kirk moved from New Jersey to NC2. Nice photo there at the old Marty Brodeur in the 29 red and green jersey. Nice throwback photo. John Woodson, Markstrom has been good. A wasted first rounder and NHL-ready defenseman, but he's done his job so far. Brandon wants to know at SST, how is Markstrom not helping? I would love to know as well. Do you think Keefe has to make adjustments? I think Fitz is going to have to make some adjustments to give Keefe the personnel to tinker with. I think he's been kind of dealt a bad hand in terms of overall bottom six. I do like that third line, but, you know, again, no offense to Justin Dowling, but to have him as your third line center long term is not really viable, in my opinion. John Woodson says, Keefe is screwed. The team needs to play a physical checking game, but don't have the players to do it. I feel bad for him. I mean, we have a bunch of players that don't want to do it, Woodson, but, like, they're capable. Go out and do it. And if you don't do it, health bomb guys. Put guys in the press box. He's not gonna, I don't think. But, you know, I think that, you know, the physicality has to be dialed up a lot. And if you can't bring it, then you don't belong in the lineup. That's how the team identity needs to be that. And we saw it for stretches earlier on. Go Boro. Thing is, we could have had Markstrom, Allen, Dawes. Tried to get Omark. What's the best one out of it all? Think I'm pretty happy with Markstrom. Yeah, I'm very happy with Markstrom. Amagi, Markstrom, Askarov would have been the dream. Yeah, I wanted Askarov. It didn't pan out for us, unfortunately. Oh, yo, Holmes. I live in the same town as Stephen Colbert and Aaron Rodgers. Technically, Stephen Colbert and Aaron Rodgers live in two different towns. Stephen Colbert lives in Montclair. Aaron Rodgers lives in Cedar Grove right on the border of Montclair. The house Aaron Rodgers bought is sick. Sick house, but it's technically Cedar Grove. Just a comment. Couple Percocet with Sean Avery, and I'm back, baby. Man, Sean Avery's Instagram subscription stories are hilarious. Go Boro. Markstrom's good. We got a nice deal for him. I'm happy. He's been patchy at times, but good. Go Boro says Askarov is one that hurts like heck. LJ with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Thanks in advance for the Friday night nostalgia trip tomorrow. Friday night nostalgia trip tomorrow. What is the LJ? What is the Friday night nostalgia trip? Is that the nostalgia trip tomorrow? I'm very confused, but thanks for the super chat, LJ. Please clarify. Oh, that's a cool picture you got there too. Is that a real guitar you have, LJ? Or is that just like a photo you found? Looks like the I don't know what you call that, the body of the guitar, hockey sticks, and then the blade at the top of the neck. That's pretty sick. If that's a real guitar, that's insane. Jason, I want to see Keefe shake lines up, maybe call someone up. I'm definitely down to see some different looks as far as the line combinations. I would like to see, I've said this a million times, Cotter with Jack and Jesper Bratt. I wouldn't mind seeing Nason at least a little bit maybe there just to see what it looks like. I don't think Timo's ever going to work well with Jack. For whatever reason, every time they've tried it, it hasn't looked great. Maybe they do try it again. I don't know. But I would like to see maybe a couple attempts at some point. Go Boro. Rangers, TBF, New York Rangers have suffered this season. If he's a friend of Ace, then let him have it. You guys have a hole to dig out of. To fighting words, we got a cushion for ourselves. New York Rangers got big-ass work to do. Yeah, they do. But Jay Snow, if the Devils lose, let's say lose the next 2 out of 3, I'd be super concerned. Jason, no, Jack and Brat and Nico aren't going to play physical. It's not their game. Brat has, out of the three of them, Brat is definitely the most physical on that insane play that he made play of the year, in my opinion, where he just slammed the Blackhawk player after the shift of the year where the Devils got the change. Bratter slams a guy. They get it to Jack, and Jack scores. That one was an amazing play, and that was a heavier, edgier, more violent moment of the year, courtesy of Jesper Bratt. And if you watch, he sneakily plays the body way more than the other two. Jace, no, forget it. Jack won't even go into a corner. He's never laying the body. I agree with that. More fighting with the Rangers troll. Oh, LJ Langenbrunner. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. For some of you who aren't here all the time or whatever, definitely my best moment for me, at least for me personally, the coolest thing that I've ever done in association with this channel is by far the sit-down interview that I did with Jamie Langenbrunner, and it is on the channel. It will be premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m. I will drop the link in the description. Definitely the highlight for me of this channel thus far. Super cool to be able to sit down and talk to a legend like Jamie Langenbrunner. We talked about a lot. There was a lot I didn't get to that hopefully at a future time I can. But amazing conversation with Jamie Langenbrunner, and that premieres, I completely forgot. So thank you for reminding me, LJ. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., I just dropped the link in the chat. So check that out. That'll be, going live tomorrow. Yeah, Moggy. I think LJ is talking about the Langenbrunner video. Yep, I totally forgot. Man, just the comment is just trolling all of you here. Kevin Kirk, what's the best way to get the guys to buy back in? Does Keith go easy on them and let them figure it out, or apply some pressure and see who cracks? Just curious what approach would work best. I mean, we're more than halfway through the season now. So for me, again, all of my viewpoints are formed from years ago, because that is when I saw the Devils successful. And for me personally, in a situation like this, I think you at this point have to be a little bit more of a hard ass, asking nicely and being polite, and being what they would call a player's coach isn't getting the results. They're on a slide now. And so unfortunately, I think it might be time to take some boot to ass. And sometimes groups need that. It seemed like for most of the season, up until the slide overall, it was promising. But it's, we've gotten away from that. Luke says Dowling is not an NHL player. Get a 3 N4C. Jason, no, Dowling looks better than Haula, but that said, I have to agree that third line has looked the best it has in a while with Dowling playing center. Natus, Devs need that sense of urgency back when they play good teams. They bring it, and we're going to get tested. We are going to get tested. We have three pretty good teams coming up, and then more Eastern Conference teams clawing to try to get in a playoff spot. So there is no easy wins in this league. Nobody is laying down for the Devils, and you see it every night, man. We've been in a lot of tight games this year with so-called good teams, so-called bad teams. They're NHL teams. They are NHL teams, and there's no easy wins. Period. So we're gonna see. We have a little bit of everything coming up on the schedule. Lightning, Panthers, Maple Leafs, all very solid teams. Then you got Flyers and Sens, two teams going to be sniffing the wild card. The Bruins are always a good team. You got Montreal, who's been playing better as of late, also sniffing that wild card spot. I mean, yeah, this is a huge month. This January, how they finish up this month is going to be very telling. Very telling. And then closing up after Montreal with 2 more Flyer games. Play the Flyers 3 times in a week and a half. Crazy. 2 at the Rock, 1 in Philly. Brandon Thomas, Keefe should send one up and down and send a message. I would like to see Legary back. I thought he looked great on the 4th line the couple games or however many games he played a couple weeks ago when Laser and Bastion were out with injuries. But, wow. Stickfix says, you came immediately to troll in the Devils chat, got effed up, then came back just to repeat yourself like a parrot. You've probably put Devils channel higher in the YouTube algorithm than Rags. And what an algorithm it is. Who could figure it out, right? Luke says, Hall has been asked, but come on, even statistically Dowling his ass. And then just the comment says, I live in your head rent-free. Shocking that a Ranger fan talking smack used the phrase rent-free. Color me stunned. Stickfigs, gladly please come back in April. Jason, no, their offense style looks like last year with guys just blowing the zone and cheating for offense again. Amagi. Islanders are shutting out Vegas. That can't be how much it can't be too far into the game. Was that an 11? Oh, 10 o'clock stuff. Oh, yeah, third period. Isles up 3-0. Wow. Wow. Another team that I'm not going to count out. Shout out to my boy Patty. He's a huge Islander fan. He's pretty depressed right now, but you know, they're only I guess this is their 41st game. So if they hold on for this win, they'll be at 39 points. And they're only 5 points out. I mean, wow. A little win streak for a lot of these, you know, lower ranking Eastern Conference teams could put them right in the mix again. Go Boro. Crazy that Montreal is sniffing the wild card spot when it wasn't that long ago. Montreal looked like a contender for the first overall. Hockey, eh? Yeah, that's why it's a great game. All it takes is a little run. There's a lot of parity in this league. A lot of good teams go through patches like the Devils are now. And there's going to be, you know, I think the wild card might come down. I think it came down to the last day of the season last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that could happen again. I would not be surprised whatsoever if the wild card came down to the last day of the season. And I think that could potentially be true for the division winner as well. I think that could really come down to the very end and the last couple days of the season, if not the very last day. There's going to be, I'm hopeful that the Devils are in the mix for the division down the stretch. And I think it really could be the Devils and or the Canes trying to close on the Caps. Brandon Thomas, one thing as well, the closer we get to the end of the season, harder games are going to be everyone's fighting for a playoff spot. Yeah. And a lot of teams are going to be right there. The loser point essentially was invented to keep teams around longer. With that loser point, now having 3-point games instead of 2-point games, it allows the, you know, lower level teams to be relevant and technically still alive for much longer. It's not good for business for any team if you're essentially out of the playoffs come, you know, December or January. How are you going to sell tickets and fill the arena when it's known you have no chance of making the playoffs? At least for some of these teams, even now, we're halfway through the season. You know, some of these teams that look bad, they're still not eliminated. They're still alive. So you could wrap your head around the fact of paying to go see them play because, you know, they're struggling right now, but they could be a playoff team. When you're dead and gone at this time of year, these arenas would be ghost towns. And so that is what you get with the 3-point games and the loser point. And that's what the owners in the league wanted. Luke says, Tampa lost, Florida win, Toronto lost, scumbags win. Luke says they did run Markey, no call, no response. Obviously, for those of you that know me, you could probably imagine I was disappointed in the response. Again, it was another one of the little, you know, patty cake wrestling matches that I don't care for. Another one of those where I wanted to see a much bigger response. That looked like you're just doing, you know, what you're expected to do. But in the end, it wasn't anything more than just a bunch of shoving and nonsense. When Markey got ran, I was hoping we were going to see gloves off. But another thing the league wants to do is cut down on fighting, right? And so now we saw it earlier in the season. I believe it was at Detroit, where in a situation where it was a little bit of a scrum, Dylan went after a guy. They both dropped their gloves. Dylan ended up with the extra instigator. That is a great way to be riding the bench and in the coach's doghouse. In a situation like that, if you are the aggressor in one of those types of things where, say, You know, they ran Markey, and now you shove a guy and you drop the gloves. Even if you get a fight off, these refs, you never know what they're going to do. And they give you the extra 2 minutes and you put your team shorthanded and in a bad spot. You are riding the pine and you are officially in the doghouse. And so I think a lot of the guys are scared of that. And that's exactly what the league wants because they want to cut down on this stuff. LJ, Ranger fans love the phrase rent free because it reminds them of their cup days back in the 30s when rent was free. Just a comment, 93 buys milk at school. Had no idea he's under 18. My bad. You guys are brutal. Stick Fig says, it's clear you are out of comebacks. Go Boro can see a total wild card shootout in the last day. Might even come down to who can shithouse it like how Tortorella did to the Penguins. He says, comebacks, I destroyed all of you. Stick to cry and let the adults talk. Oh, boy. This is epic level trolling. Stick Figs, big man Sanji really demolished the Devils fan base and the Running with the Devils stream chat with other Ranger fans telling you you're full of it. These kids are losing their minds over 1 point in 3 games. Hey, Ace, when did you meet Rocket? How did you become friends? I became friends with him about probably 18, 19 years ago. He was a good friend of one of my good friends from home in college. And coincidentally, they actually went to elementary school together and then moved to different towns and lost touch. And then they reconnected in college, which is a super bizarre story in itself. But I became friends with him through another one of our mutual friends. And obviously hockey guys stick together. How often do I meet guys that are hockey guys? Not too often at all. Not too often at all. Luke says, just a comment, 93 is under 18. Cut him out. Amagi, I'm sure the Devils don't want to take penalties. Pesci got 5 minutes for not even dropping his gloves, so at times it feels like it's a roll of the dice. Yeah. And that is what the league wants, and that's why we're not seeing the responses, I believe. But at some point in that scenario, it sucks to risk it, but like when they run Markey like that, if you grab a guy and you're like, do you want to go? And if you both drop the gloves, like the refs really got to, call it fairly. Like if two guys willingly go, putting them shorthanded is terrible. Luke, the league, clear the bench, kick ass, and set the tone. I'd rather the loss with no point we pulled an Islanders versus Pitt than this. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that. But, as much as it sucks to lose this game, the loser point versus nothing, when you go through a bunch of these when you add it up at the end of the year, it could be a big difference. In terms of a lot of stuff. But it is terrible that a lot of these guys are scared, I do think, to properly retaliate in the situations when it calls for it, like Markstrom getting ran, because, guys don't want to be that guy. You don't want to end up in the coach's doghouse, and these refs, I would say, are wildly unpredictable. You don't know how they're going to call it. We've been on the short end of the stick of all kinds of calls, including that exact type of play. Like I said, I think it was Dylan who went to fight a guy after a little dust up like that and ended up with the extra penalty, and the Devils got put shorthanded. So it's rough. It's rough. It's a chance a lot of these guys don't want to take. Brandon says, let me know when you're in the playoffs. Guys, just ignore him. Just ignore him. Brandon, I'm actually laughing because you look pretty pathetic. Chris, if the listeners don't drop to under 50, you'll never end the stream. What a marathon. I'll eventually end it. I don't really care about how many people are in here. Obviously, if there's like nobody, then it's, then you're talking to yourself. But, I'm still fired up. After these games, I have so much adrenaline. And then after I get off here, I'll go watch all the, the pleasantries and whatever they had to say after the fact. Just a comment. You should be more concerned with yourself and your awful hockey team than my age. Oh boy. Stick Figs. Hey, I'm all smiles over here with a nice playoff cushion while the Rangers have a lot of work to do. Go Boro. I can't wait till we have cyborg hockey players and we could have DBZ style fights in the arena. I don't know those references. That might be, you were talking about his thing as anime, maybe. Oh, DBZ, is that Dragon Ball Z? All these things are way after my time, so I'm not really up on all this stuff. Jay Snow, we need something to get this team going. There should be a mandate. If you do not register a hit in the next game, you're not playing in the game after that. It's that simple. Everyone must register at least one hit. Now, there's guys they're going to get at least one hit every night, but there's tons of guys that you're wondering if they're aware that checking is allowed in the NHL. Some of these guys might not know. Stickfigs, bro. All the adults in NJ have gone to bed. I'm not there, so I have my time. And unfortunately, I forgot to close the stream tab on my PC, so I saw this clown acting up. Kevin Kirk, why can't we win 4 in a row? Ottawa, Columbus, etc. all can get it done. What's the hang up with the 4th win? I don't know. I believe they've had now in the past 2 years like 10 or 12 chances at it. We've had, I believe, 4 this season. 4 3-game winning streaks and came up short for that 4th win every time. It is unfortunate. I don't know what it is about that 4th win. I mean, if you could win 3, you'd imagine you could win 4, right? But for whatever reason, we are now creeping in on the official 2 calendar year anniversary of the last 4-game winning streak for the Devils. The last 4-game winning streak came on January 14th, 2023, during the record-setting 22-23 season. Almost 2 years. So it'll 100% be over 2 years if they ever get a 4-game winning streak, obviously, because we're on a 1-game losing streak, and the next 4 games already brings you past the 2-year marker. And it might not even happen this year. I don't know. Chris, I forgot what it feels like to be invested in your team. If I were a betting man, I think the Devils go as far as ECF. I don't know who emerges from the East. Let's see if Florida still has any gas left. And yeah, they got a lot of mileage on them. Obviously, 2 very long runs, going to the Cup Finals 2 years ago and then going to the Cup Finals and winning last season. I would never count Florida out. I think they're going to go on another far run. They just play that playoff warfare style, and I think they're going to be well-equipped come playoff time and not going to be in shock by playoff hockey because they've been playing it pretty much consistently since Matthew Tkachuk arrived there. But I haven't been this invested in the Devils in a while. I mean, even during the record-setting season, obviously, I'm a huge fan. I watch every game every year. But this team, even with their struggles at the moment, feels different to me versus that 22-23 team. It really does. Luke, Ace, good stuff. Let's go Devils. Good night, gentlemen. Into 2 crumbs. Good night, Luke. Go Boro, dude. You've suffered a ton this season. Have your night. Enjoy it. Real work starts tomorrow. Wish you luck. Kevin Kirk, we got to do something about the turnovers. They're killing us. Yeah, Devils 25 turnovers tonight to the Rangers 10. 2.5 times the amount of turnovers as the opposition is not going to get it done. And obviously is nowhere near good enough. Stickfix says, you say living in the moment, I say standings. Jason, no, that's the way with losing streaks because we can't win more than 3 games in a row. For a while, it seemed like we were winning 3 out of every 4, which I'm perfectly content with. Winning 3 out of every 4, I don't care to ever win 4 in a row. Winning 3 out of 4 is beautiful. That's 750 points percentage hockey. Sign me up for that all day, every day. Go Boro, Florida will be interesting because that core is a little different, but for a team to study, I guess, heavier, edgier, more violent, great case. All right, does anyone have anything else? This is turning into a flame session. Anyone have any other interesting comments, questions, thoughts before we wrap up here? Aside from feeding the troll, you guys have loved to feed the troll. Go Boro, NHL wants grit and fighting out of the league. Love whoever can keep that candle burning. Matt Rempe was one of those guys. I do think they clipped his nuts a little bit with that suspension, like I said earlier. He's definitely going to be super nervous and not throwing the body nearly as much as he was because he knows his next suspension is going to be a monster one. Jay Snow, how many points are we on pace for? Let's see. It's probably going to be right around 100 if I had to guess. Let's see. We're 614. The Canes have officially passed us in terms of points percentage. We were ahead of them heading into tonight. The Devils right now are playing at a 100.7, so essentially 101 point pace. 101 point pace. Brandon Thomas, yeah, we had a much better troll in the pregame stream. Wonder where Blue is now. Oh, you're referring to Blue Figs? Stick Fig says, just a comment. I feed you this channel. Goes higher in the algorithm. It's a win for us. Kevin Kirk, good night, Ace and the Devil's Nation. Until next game, be easy, everyone. Good night, Kevin. This is just, does anyone have anything interesting? Or is it all just a comment? Says they are very sensitive. Brandon Thomas says, Stick Figs, wouldn't surprise me if this is his second account. He's that down bad. Jay Snow, we're not winning the division with that. No, obviously, 101 points is not winning the division. I'm obviously hoping that we can outplay our current pace, down the stretch of the season. May or may not happen. But we'll see. Marshall, I'll give the Rags this. I was in the FanDuel suite at the Garden tonight. The food is 100 times better than what they have at the Rock. Marshall, I mean, I imagine that goes without saying. Not that the bar is very high, and saying that the food there is better than the Rock is not saying much. But the Rock definitely has a long, long way to go in terms of getting their client experience to be anywhere near the level that they believe it is. I believe that they get high off their own supply and they think what they're providing, it's like, harsh reality check. Go to other arenas. You're losing. You're losing badly. And I say that as a guy who has been in pretty much now in the past couple seasons, I've been in every area of the arena and I know what you got. And it's nowhere near on par with some of these other arenas. But I think they live in their own bubble where they don't believe that that's true, but it certainly is. Go Boro. Hey Ace, who's your favorite name to see on the back of a fan's jersey at a Devils game? I like any obscure old ones. I like any obscure old ones. And maybe not even obscure. I think I saw, now that there's these recreation jerseys by Mitchell and Ness, you're seeing some older names more commonly shown, but I could also see that it's the recreation jersey. So I guess the root of your question, when I see the original, old jerseys of a guy like Holik or Claude Lemieux, Johnny Mack, those are the ones that always make me smile, because as time goes on and I get older with some of these other folks, they are becoming, rarer and rarer in the sea of the, Dawson Mercer, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer jerseys. And then obviously the people that haven't upgraded their jerseys since the, Parisi, Kovalchuk, Henrique days. And so, yeah, just the OG guys, the old guard, anyone from the dynasty. Evan, Rangers fans only here because their fans don't have the balls to come on a live stream. I don't really know what that means, but usually it's a lot of Hughes, Brodeur, Stevens. What's your favorite one to notice? I don't even think I see a lot of Martys and Stevens anymore. I mean, you certainly see them, but they're nowhere near as abundant. They're nowhere near as abundant as they once were. He realized he's feeding the algorithm for us and said he's got a dip. Still here. Unhinged at Stick Nice. We out here supporting the team West Coast. Marshall, the beer cheese at the Rock masks how bad the food is. God, beer cheese makes everything better, right? I love the vats of cheese. When I go in some of the suites that have the cheese, I'm like, shit, this is bad for my health, because what it is I just take that ladle. There's that big pot of the melted cheese, and I take that ladle and I get in there and I put a nice pool of it on my plate, and I'm dunking everything in there. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Hot dogs go in the vat of cheese. You dunk the dog in there. Hot dog in the cheese, beautiful. Pretzels, obviously. Chicken tenders, obviously. Take the cheeseburger, dunk that in the cheese. I mean, wow. Wow. Chris, this theory might sound crazy, but I feel a lot of the teams are not playing to their potential because of Johnny Hockey passing. Super interesting. It's like a wave of depression has hit the league. So much apathy. That is interesting. Wow. I didn't think of that. I wonder if that could have anything remotely related. I guess on some teams where they have more ties. And obviously, I'd imagine the Blue Jackets and the Flames would be the mostly directly affected because of the guys that played with them. Evan Spitzberg, you don't have Rangers YouTubers to go to because they're scared. That's why you're here, loser. LJ, I saw a Zelepukin jersey last year in the Wild that made me smile. When you say in the Wild, what do you mean by that? Do you mean not at a game? If I saw a Zelepukin jersey somewhere in like everyday life, I would be floored, and I would definitely go talk to the person for sure. Doug says, damn, he's still alive. How is the chat tonight? A lot of doomers, a lot of trolls. Pretty much as expected. Stickfigs, Ace, this isn't going to end until the kid goes to bed or you end stream. Evan says, I meant their YouTube fans, not the guy you had on tonight, Ace. Now, he's a good guy. I wouldn't have him on if he was a dick. Chris says, locker rooms are divided because of politics and the new administration. Do you think the guys really talk about that shit? I'd hope not. That's just a distraction you don't need. I suppose it's inevitable in almost any workplace, and I guess the locker room is a type of workplace. Obviously, not in the traditional sense, but it is a workplace. Ryan says your team is a bottom feeder. Go Boro, feel really bad for Monahan. He really wanted to play with Johnny again, even after everything Monahan went through with injuries. Yeah, it's a super sad situation. He went there to play with Johnny, and then obviously that terrible tragedy strikes. Super wild, man. I remember the night that I saw the rumors. I didn't want them to be true. And, when the nature of today's news cycle with Twitter and all this shit and people posting speculation and people being like, don't be speculating, this isn't confirmed. And then people being like, I know for a fact it's true. You don't have to believe me. The way it all, came to be known was very bizarre as well. But I guess that's the world we live in now with technology and the way all this stuff works. Doug says Rangers have fans again. Yeah, they have some. They've been trolling me for sure. And his original comment is Devils suck. That's so original. Doug womp womp. Evan says this troll is getting tired. Stickfigs, now that is a profound discovery, my friend. Brandon Thomas, I just wish the Devils fight. I don't think there's any other team that would allow the opponent to run our goalie over and no one really does anything. It's depressing. Feels like last year. I agree to some extent. I don't think the response was enough there, but like I just mentioned several times now, I think specifically the Devils, because of how we've been, kind of screwed by refs over the past couple of weeks, especially, I think guys don't want to get those extra penalties. And so they're kind of scared to respond. And that's what the league wants. Go Boro, I quite like Rocket too. And nice to have other fans visiting even on L days. Chris, I would love a guy like Monahan. I think a lot of teams would. You guys really enjoy feeding the troll. Ryan, we beat you every time in the big stage. Your team can't take it. You're here trolling, want to talk about class. We can take it, but when you as a troll come in here, it makes us hate your team even more. And it's a shame because the people like this ruin it. Like, there was a couple respectable, normal Rangers fans in here tonight. There was a couple of them in the post-game, or the pre-game, rather. I've talked to some in comments. This gentleman, Chris, has been here before. He's a very respectable, normal Ranger fan. Chris right here. And then you get the guys like Just a Comment that seem to be way more plentiful than the normal guys like Chris. But it is what it is. This is the internet, guys. When you're talking about the internet and then you're talking about sports-related things, you are going to see the creatures of all creatures. That is the nature of the beast. The internet's a scary place, and then once you start going down the hole of sports stuff, wild. Doug, imagine if you did these live streams in 22-23 Ace, the 7-game series would have been chaos in here. Oh, man. I could only imagine. I wasn't doing any streams. I wasn't doing any videos of any kind that I appeared in. I actually, Doug, at that time was just going to the games and putting up videos that I thought other fans would find interesting on the channel, whether it was gameplay or behind the scenes stuff or stuff near the, outside the arena or fan kind of stuff. But if you haven't seen it, Doug, I do have a lot of videos from the Devils Rangers series, including, during Game 7, the closing moments, fans leaving, people arguing, the taunting outside of American Whiskey when we played their goal song. I mean, I have so many great videos from that series, and especially Game 7. but I wasn't doing streams or appearing in any videos, just kind of taking videos and putting them up. Ryan says, what sucks is you guys are going to be rebuilding and will be bottom team next few years. Have fun trading away your assets at trade deadline. I still think they're going to make the playoffs, Ryan. I'm not rooting for it, but I still think it happens. Go Boro. Hey, Ace, out of all the teams you can face in the playoffs, which one would you look most forward to? I badly want that Toronto series. Right now, I don't know. I think Toronto could give us problems. I'm curious to see how we play them, in a few days here when we play them. Can we beat them? I think that'd be a great series. I do plan on going to some road playoff games this year. So I suppose Toronto is not a terrible either drive or flight. With that being said, the tickets would be astronomically expensive. One of the positives of playing some of these other teams that aren't hockey, hot hockey markets like Carolina or Florida is that the playoff tickets are way more affordable than some of these other markets. I mean, Toronto is amongst the most expensive. So a Devils Maple Leafs ticket, even in the first round, is definitely going to be bank. But it would be an exciting series, no doubt. I mean, the storyline with, Keefe playing his former team, all the star power with, Jack, Jesper, Timo, Nico going against the core over there with, Marner, Nylander, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. I mean, the storylines are there, and it would be probably pretty good ratings to the league, I would imagine. But I would like to beat the Canes. It just scares the shit out of me. But the thought of being able to go to games on a fairly easy trip and fairly cheaply is exciting for me personally. Losing to the Canes again in the playoffs would absolutely kill me, though. Even with some rowdy Ranger fans, way less worse than soccer fans. Way, way less worse. I saw the movie Green Street Hooligans. I know how some of these football clubs or football firms, how the fans get, and they get wild. Just a comment, your fans don't ever troll. I'm sure there's idiot Devil fans that do exactly what you're doing right now, just a comment, but I would call them idiots, just like I say you're an idiot. Doug, I've been seeing content from your channel for a while now. I've seen the videos of the aftermath multiple times. So good. I appreciate that, Doug. Some of those videos on nights like tonight, it brings a smile to my face when I'm down in the dumps like I am right now to just fire up one of those real quick and just to go back in time. Chris, American whiskey by the bar by the garden. No, there's an American whiskey right across the street from Prudential Center, Chris. And so after Game 7, it's literally like a stone's throw from Prudential Center. So after that crazy Game 7, everybody flooded the streets right in front of American whiskey, and it was a wild scene. Probably the wildest scene I'd ever seen, at Prudential Center. This was one of my favorites. I'll drop this link, and this is one of my favorite videos. One of my favorite Game 7, I'll call it a Game 7 related video because it was technically after the game, but it's still a Game 7. That one was a good one. When we played their goal song, the streets of Newark are flooded. It looked like Woodstock out there for a while. I liked that one. Let me see. I probably have one or two others. I'm going to hit you guys with the highlight reel Game 7 videos. 1, 2, and I guess this is probably the last one. Yeah, I took so many videos after that. It was just a wild scene. What a night. What a night to be a Devils fan. Yeah, those links I just dropped in, pretty funny. Dogzilla, if you want a good laugh, type in Vital Sassoon Rangers. I'm assuming that's some sort of commercial with one of their former players. Stick fix, Control plus F equals rent free. Go Boro. Hey Ace, when I go to NJ in May, where can I go for Marty's drink? I want to try any other NJ drinks to try it. Well, technically, Marty, it's just a vodka. There are some bars that serve it. And they have a couple like signature cocktails at the places, but there's definitely a bunch of places that are worth checking out when you're here. Brandon, Devils need to get better at scoring deflections and screening the goalie. That's almost the only goals we're going to get in the playoffs. Dirty goals, tips, deflections, weird ricochets, lucky bounces. Those are all things they're going to have to improve on. They're not all going to be pretty, and especially come playoff time, obviously. And hopefully they get more in line with that. Once we hit that once you hit March, it's really like the pre-playoffs. Goals are going to dry up. They're not going to be as easier to come by even then. And so, hopefully they find new creative ways to get some greasy ones. Go Boro. Oh man, Toronto playoff tickets can easily see going past 1,000. Their tickets are crazy expensive. Man, $1,000 for a first round. That's brutal. I don't think I would pay that. I think that's a lot for a first round game. If it was like a game 7 or something, I would probably do it. Doug, Jack finally got in front of the net and scored on a deflection. We need more of that. Yeah, absolutely. Chris says, oh, it's in front of the Marty statue. No, I've been there. No, the other side. So the Marty statue's on the one side of the arena. American Whiskey's on the other side. Right outside the team store in the box office. Not far from the big hockey statue. So the Marty statue's on the other side. On Championship Plaza, where all the bricks are, there's a huge hockey statue. And American Whiskey is kind of right tucked in there. Go Boro. Oh, man, I remember going to my first Devils game and approaching the Marty statue after figuring out how to get out of Penn Station. My God, felt like a kid going to Wonderland for the first time. Yeah, that's awesome. I obviously, it's, commonplace for me because I've been going to games and I'm from the area. So I can imagine how cool it is for someone to see that for the first time if you're a fan who doesn't live close by. Singing that dumbass goal song in front of American Whiskey. What a moment. What a moment it was. Wow. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. One that I'll never forget. And I'm glad I took the videos because it is a permanent kind of time capsule. Go Boro. Did any of you have that sort of experience in your first NJD game? I was a kid and it was at the arena here. I mean, obviously it was a magical experience to go to an NHL game for the first time live. But I think the older you are, the more you appreciate kind of stuff like that. As opposed to a kid, it's cool and exciting, but it's not quite the same. Marshall, by the way, someone has to tell Josh Harris it's okay to bring Rock and Roll Part 2. The Spurs are using it now during their games. The Devils are just so, not that organization. I wish they would do it. I would love to see it. I highly doubt it ever happens, but maybe eventually in time they consider it. I mean, I consider it a good luck charm. That's the song intertwined with all the Devils Cup championships in the good old days, the dynasty days. Stickfix, that video outside American Whiskey was legendary. That's how I found your channel even before you started the game recaps. That's pretty funny. Go Boro says press pass for Ace. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. This, that's a story for another day. We'll see where that goes. Brandon, I kind of noticed Markstrom weak spot is one-timers. I noticed he struggles against them at the blue line. Chris says, Brandon, it's challenging for tall goalies to move laterally. That's no secret. Yeah, he kind of, the 2-on-1 and the overtime was an issue of that. And it sort of was the same thing on the Panarin goal. The rebound came out and he had to get over to the side and couldn't do it quick enough. New York's goal song kind of slaps. Brandon, at Chris, Devils have to block them if they can. Wow. What a night. What a painful loss. Your New Jersey Devils. Stings. Lose in overtime by a score of 3-2 to our hated rival, the New York Rangers. Back in action Saturday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you all for coming by and commiserating Respect to the Chris and the other few Ranger fans that popped in and out throughout the stream that aren't trolls. Maybe they could teach some of their other fellow fans how to behave on the internets. But I'll be back soon. The Jamie Langenbrunner interview, fellas, it drops tomorrow, the 7 p.m. premiere. My finest moment, in my opinion, or at least, yeah, for sure, my finest moment in this channel, Running with the Devil's History. Jamie Langenbrunner, 7 p.m. review. I'm delirious. 7 p.m. premiere. I'll be in the chat for that, watching along with those of you that are watching. I'll be back soon. This one sucks. Got to be better. Got to fix everything. Got to get heavier, edgier, more violent. Got to give Marky some support. I hope we see Marky Saturday night against the Lightning. He's deserved it. He's deserved it. Stole these last 3 points for the Devils. Without him, we'd be 0-6, and that's it. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devil.